Chapter 104. You're alone. Even a tiger can't beat a pack of wolves. Wu Ji looked at Li Fan and said disdainfully, "Do you really think they're afraid of you? Go up and chop him. Chop him once. Get 10,000. Chop off one of his hands. Get 100,000. Wu Ji still had some capital in his hands. He used money to smash people, and it did give some people the courage to do so. These hooligans, didn't they do it for money? With the stimulation of money, their eyes turned red. At this moment, in their eyes, Li Fan had become a moving mountain of gold. Chop him to death. Go! A group of hoodlums rushed over with axes in their hands. Li Fan adjusted his strength so that it was about a cow's strength, and then he began to attack. His body sank, his waist slightly bent, his hands formed into claws, and his eyes flashed with fierceness. Tiger strike technique. Although he only had the strength of one bull, but to deal with so many hooligans, Li Fan still had to use some martial arts. He lowered his body, like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain. Instead of retreating, he charged towards those hooligans. These hooligans were like wolves and tigers. Each of them wished they could chop Li Fan a few times with their axes. But Li Fan dodged left and right. These hooligans couldn't even get close to him. But Li Fan's attacks were as fast as lightning. Every time his tiger claw scratched those hooligans, a piece of their flesh would be torn off. Although the hooligans were as excited as a berserker, they were no match for Li Fan. In less than 3 minutes, all the hooligans were knocked down by Li Fan. The last hooligan tried to attack Li Fan from behind. His axe chopped towards Li Fan's head. But Li Fan turned around and clawed. His 5 fingers pierced into the hooligan's shoulder. He lifted him up into the air and flung him. Bang! The hooligan's body flew out in a parabola and landed heavily on the mahjong table in front of Wu Ji. The broken pieces of mahjong tiles flew around. Just like Wu Ji's heart, they were all in a mess at the moment. Looking at his subordinates lying on the ground, his heart trembled. Who was this kid? A monster. What kind of big brother did Huang Lei find? He didn't look like he was in the underworld at all. Friend, let's talk, Wu Ji pretended to be calm. He reached into his pocket and took out a pack of cigarettes. Friend, do you smoke? I don't smoke or drink. Li Fan smiled shyly. I don't know if you believe me, but I'm a good student. What a good student. Are good students like this? Friend. You shouldn't be in this underworld, Wu Ji asked. I'm just a student. But since Lei is willing to follow me, I'm willing to protect him. Li Fan helped Huang Lei up. I've let your brothers take care of his injury today. But next time you dare to touch my brother, I won't spare you. Friend. My brother's debt will not be settled like this. Wu Ji didn't dare to speak harshly again. I admit that I can't deal with you. But the 3 major forces of City A can always touch you. Then let them come. I'll take them all. Li Fan's arrogance soared. As long as they have the ability, come. You look down on the 3 major forces. Wu Ji said, no matter how powerful you are, you're just one person. Moreover, you also have a family. If the 3 major forces want to deal with you, it's very easy. My family. Li Fan smiled. Although his parents were alive, they all went to the Maldives. If you're willing to find them for me, I can't wait to thank you. As for his fiancée, there were only a few people in the world who could defeat her. Only a grandmaster would be able to defeat her. So you're alone. No wonder you're so reckless. Wu Ji seemed to understand, but friend. Listen to my advice, there are some things that you can't touch. Boss Wu, can we get straight to the point? Li Fan continued to play dumb. You kidnapped my brother, beat him, and even slashed him. What's the reason? Whatever I touch, you just keep talking to me. Are you sick? You really don't know. Wu Ji frowned. Know what? Big brother, he suspects that our recent money is not legitimate. Huang Lei said in Li Fan's ear. Fuck, you really are sick. Li Fan was very angry and scolded Wu Ji. That's the money that I, young master, worked hard to earn from the underground boxing. What's wrong with my brother spending it? I don't even care about it. Why are you worrying about me? Then why does Lei know how to use a boat? If we have nothing to do, why can't we go fishing in the river? Li Fan rolled his eyes. You gangsters sure have a wide range of control. You even care about me fishing. You really need to see a doctor, big brother. You're on your own. Wu Ji still couldn't let go of his face. Li Fan suddenly kicked the axe beside him. The axe instantly flew over and chopped the wall above Wu Ji's head. Wu Ji sucked in a mouthful of cold air. His crotch couldn't help but feel sore. This person. I can't afford to offend him. However, it's not difficult for the three major forces to touch him. These three major forces, which one of them didn't have some powerful fighters? This matter regarding Hu Urgu would definitely not be settled so easily. I'm warning you, next time you dare to provoke me, this axe will chop your head. Li Fan coldly said, quickly send your man to the hospital. If you're late, it'll be too late. With that, he supported Huang Lei and then lifted his foot to kick the shutter door. This iron shutter door was instantly kicked down by Li Fan. Lei, let's go. Big brother. The two of them went out of the mahjong house. Li Fan was rarely generous. He called a taxi and sent Huang Lei to the billiard hall. Big brother. Let me make you suffer again. After returning to the billiard hall, Huang Lei kept blaming himself. I'm disappointing. Always giving you trouble. It's not your fault. The billiard hall was also closed. Li Fan sat there and looked at Huang Lei. Since you'll be following me in the future, you should learn some martial arts. My body was hollowed out by wine and women when I was young. Can I do it? Huang Lei couldn't help but ask. Sure, practicing martial arts is to strengthen your body. Li Fan nodded. Your foundation is not too bad. With the breathing technique that I taught you, practice every day. Even if you can't achieve great success, you can still make some achievements. With that, he put on the pose of ape attack. Learn ape attack from me, and I guarantee you'll have the ability to protect yourself in the future. If you meet those punks again, you won't be captured so easily. Okay, big brother, I'll listen to whatever you say. I'll learn from you. Huang Lei nodded. Okay, then let's start tonight. That. How about tomorrow? Why? I'm hungry. I want to eat soy sauce pork first. Fuck off. Chapter 105. Li Fan recuperated for a full 3 days before his body recovered 70 to 80%. However, he wasn't happy at all. After all, there was still Li Wenjue waiting to ambush him in the dark. The enemy is in the dark while I'm in the light. Li Fan sat in the hospital's intensive care unit and sent Tai Zhu out. He was discussing countermeasures with Bai Lin Luo and Huang Lei. We have to get rid of Li Wenjue instead. Huang Lei had a lingering fear when he thought of the shocking scene in the van. Li Wenjue was too dangerous. He was like a ticking time bomb. If they didn't get rid of him, sooner or later he would be dead. We are now besieged on all sides. Bai Lin Luo touched his glasses and thought, in addition to Li Wenjue, there is also the Red Dragon Gang. They probably have their eyes on us. Therefore, we can't touch the 1.5 million. Without evidence, they won't dare to do anything to us. Last time, Li Fan showed his fist, so they shouldn't play these tricks. But if we let them get the chance, I'm afraid they will kill us. Don't worry. If this thing happens, it will be me and Lei who will bear the responsibility. Li Fan patted Bai Lin Luo's shoulder. We won't drag you into this. You make it sound like I'm the mastermind. Bai Lin Luo smiled shyly. I'm just an ordinary student. Even if I can't accompany you through thick and thin, I can accompany you through thick and thin. But I can't harm you. Li Fan said resolutely, don't worry about the Red Dragon Gang. Let's get rid of Li Wenjue first. Motherfucker, they kept looking for me. If I don't show my power, they think I'm a sick cat. Big brother, you're really sick now. Fuck off. Huang Lei, this fellow, really touched my sore spot. Big brother. I know you're in a bad mood, but as your little brother, we have to be objective. Huang Lei said hurriedly, we don't know where Li Wenjue is hiding. City A is so big. How can we find him? We don't need to look for him. Bai Lin Luo pushed up his glasses. Let him take the bait himself. Tell me your opinion. Li Fan felt that Bai Lin Luo had another idea. It's very simple, but I still need your friend's cooperation. Bai Lin Luo's eyes flashed. My friend. Guan Wenbao. Don't mess around. He did it to repay a debt of gratitude. It won't be so easy to find him in the future. Li Fan quickly waved his hand. He's the key to this plan. Bai Lin Luo said honestly, you're the bait, and he's the hook. Neither of you can be missing. You don't trust me. I can defeat that Li Baihu myself, okay? Li Fan moved his muscles and bones. You see, I'm almost recovered. But you're not in a perfect state, and I don't want any risks in my plan. Bai Lin Luo insisted. After all, this time it must be foolproof. You don't want to let Li Wenjue escape, and let him sneak attack you again and again, right? It's okay to sneak attack you, maybe you can handle it. But what if he sneak attacks the people around you, such as Lin Yuhsin? He reminded Li Fan. I've already seen it. That person keeps saying that he's doing it for the good of the world. But when he attacks ordinary people, he doesn't show any mercy. Bai Lin Luo's words undoubtedly sounded an alarm for Li Fan. He was right. When Li Wenjue wanted to kill Huang Lei last time, he didn't show any mercy at all. If he were to hurt Lin Yuhsin, or hurt Bai Lin Luo, he didn't dare to say that he could protect them 100%. Okay, then I'll go look for Guan Wenbao tonight. Li Fan sighed. It seemed that he and Guan Wenbao were really fated. However, he was a little embarrassed to ask for help from others over and over again. You'll be discharged tomorrow. Let's set the plan for tomorrow. Bai Lin Luo reminded him again and again, remember, don't let Muronging see you off tomorrow. According to what you said, Li Wenjue should be a little afraid of this chief of martial arts. I need to create the best opportunity for him to make a move. Okay, I got it. Li Fan began to calculate in his mind how to find Guan Wenbao tonight. After sending Bai Lin Luo and Huang Lei away, Li Fan moved his body in the room while thinking about this problem. It was already late at night. Li Fan had to make a plan quickly. Tai Zhu sat on the bed next to him and continued to knit his sweater. Li Fan coughed twice and said, Tai Zhu, I'm a little thirsty. Young master, water. Tai Zhu took out a bottle of mineral water from the cabinet next to him. This was one of the few water that Li Fan could drink. This made Li Fan a little annoyed. In order to keep an eye on him and prevent him from sneaking away, Tai Zhu specially prepared food and water in the room so that Li Fan wouldn't have a chance to send her away. In this way, Li Fan would have less chance to leave. After all, his body had not fully recovered. He felt a little powerless to fight against Taizhu. No matter what, Taizhu was also a master who had reached the acme of perfection. According to Muronging, she was almost at the level of reaching the next level. Now, she had at least the strength of 4 tigers. In the past, when Taizhu fought with him, she seemed to be lenient. Now that she was eager to protect her master, she might really beat him up. It was not worth it. Li Fan thought for a moment and thought of a way to send her away. Young master, don't worry. In the future, Taizhu will never leave you again. Taizhu said to Li Fan with a red face, I will definitely be the closest protection for young master. Okay. Wait for me to go to the toilet first. Li Fan sat up, and Taizhu directly took out a chamber pot from under her bed. Young master, I've prepared it for you. What the? This works. I want to go to the toilet. It's okay, I have it. Taizhu pulled out a wooden toilet from under the bed. Young master, feel free to use it. Taizhu will not despise you. After you're done, Taizhu will pour it for you. Fuck the tofu. Li Fan was about to collapse. Taizhu, actually, my body is almost recovered. You see, when my friend came during the day, you didn't stare at me, right? That's because I have to give young master face. Taizhu said seriously. Moreover, Taizhu was actually downstairs at that time. If young master jumped down from the window, Taizhu could also carry young master back to the ward immediately. Damn. This guy is too guarded against me. Taizhu, it's not good for you to be like this. I'm your young master, why are you guarding against me like a thief? Because Missy said that young master is very cunning. Taizhu said very honestly, in order to prevent young master from running around, we must strictly guard against him like a thief. Damn. Can't this Muronging teach Taizhu something good? Li Fan looked at the shy Taizhu and suddenly had an idea. Although this was a bit shameless, in order to go out and see Guan Wenbao, this was the only way. Chapter 106. Taizhu. Li Fan got off the bed gently and walked to Taizhu, getting close to her face. Young master, what do you want to do? Taizhu, I find that you are very beautiful. Li Fan's face was getting closer to Taizhu's, and Taizhu's heart was beating fast. Could it be that young master couldn't restrain himself anymore? Although I'm mentally prepared. But will it hurt young master's body? It's better to let young master be. Seeing that Li Fan was about to get close to her face, Taizhu closed her eyes shyly. But at this moment, Taizhu suddenly felt a gust of wind blowing past her. She waited for a long time, but the young master didn't kiss her. When Taizhu opened her eyes again, the window was already open, and the curtains were still swaying with the wind. But in this ward, there was no sign of Li Fan. Oh no. Taizhu was extremely regretful. Eldest Miss had warned her many times, but she didn't expect to fall into the young master's honey trap. Young master, you can't run far. Taizhu directly jumped out of the window. Just as she jumped out, Li Fan climbed out from under Taizhu's bed. Fuck, it's really a battle of wits and courage. Fortunately, I'm a demon, otherwise, I really can't escape. Li Fan opened the ward door, and a familiar figure stood at the door. That purple cheongsam, decorated with orchids, matched with a pair of long legs. Who else could it be but Muronging? Where are you going? Muronging crossed her arms and looked at Li Fan in front of her. The moon is nice. Wife, how about we go and enjoy the moonlight? You want to run away again? Muronging glared fiercely at Li Fan. It's only been a few days, and you're already running out. The last time you went out, you vomited a mouthful of blood when you came back. Have you forgotten? Hee hee. I have a lot of blood. It's all right to vomit a few mouthfuls. There are still a few basins in my body. Li Fan laughed dryly. The last time he ran out to save Huang Lei, he used his true qi again, so his internal organs were slightly damaged. But after a few days of recuperation, he recovered. As a pure young body, be it his true qi or his body's recovery speed, they were much faster than ordinary people. If you want to leave this place, ask my sword. Muroning said as she pulled out her Luoying sword from the scabbard at her waist. This treasured sword was bright and dazzling. Li Fan was depressed. Why did this woman carry this sword everywhere she went? Didn't the police officers stop her? As if seeing Li Fan's confusion, Muroning faintly explained. This is not Luoying sword, it's an ordinary Taiji sword. The blade on it has not been sharpened yet, but my true qi is its blade. With that, Muroning swept horizontally. It clearly did not touch Li Fan, but Li Fan's chest was cut open. Wife. We're all civilized people, why the need to wield a sword and a spear? Li Fan felt a bit of a headache. This Muroning also came to stare at him. How could he run away? No, I must let Bai Linluo's plan proceed perfectly. I must find Guan Wenbao tonight. Li Fan, you're too willful. Muroning ignored Li Fan's interruption and reprimanded, if you do this, the people who care about you will only feel sad. People who care about me. Who cares about me? Of course it's Taiju. Muroning turned her head, not looking at Li Fan's eyes. After all, she and I are like sisters. I can't bear to let her down. Ah, wife, don't tell me you don't care about me. Why would I care about you? You're not worthy of my care. Muroning avoided his eyes. Look into my eyes and answer me one more time. Why do I have to look at your eyes? It's not nice. Muroning raised her sword and blocked Li Fan's eyes. If you like to look, why don't you look at my sword? How can a sword be as nice as your eyes? Li Fan smiled mischievously. Murongying's body slightly trembled. My eyes. Are they nice? Of course. Li Fan repeatedly nodded, I really can't look enough. Humph. Don't say these sweet words to confuse me. Damn, didn't you ask yourself? Li Fan had the urge to cry. In short, wife, I have something to do, please do me a favor. Sure. Muroning nodded. Ah, you agree. I've never objected, as long as you win against my sword. Muroning held the sword, it agreed, so there's no problem. Muroning, why are you so inflexible? Li Fan was angry, since you want to fight, fine, I'll fight with you. You have this ambition, I have to look up to you. Muroning smiled, within 3 moves, if you can win against my sword, I'll let you go. If it's 3 moves, he shouldn't use too much true qi. Fine, remember what you said. Li Fan was overjoyed, isn't it just an ordinary Taiji sword? Watch how I break it. Great sage plucking the stars. Li Fan entered the ape strike technique and struck out with his palm at lightning speed, leaving behind an afterimage as he grabbed the blunt Taiji sword in Murongying's hand. But Murongying didn't make any move, just the corner of her mouth rose slightly. Her Taiji sword suddenly shot out a formless ripple and spread outwards. Sword aura. Li Fan's expression tightened, knowing that he couldn't touch this sword aura with his palm. If he was careless, his entire hand would be lost. He suddenly withdrew his hand, and because of Murongying's sword aura, a few cracks appeared on the door frame. Abnormal. How much of your strength? How much have you recovered? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. Right now it's the strength of 7 tigers. Murong said indifferently, after a period of recovery, I should be able to reach the great heights. Fuck, abnormal. How can I play? Isn't this the same as beating me up? Li Fan was on the verge of collapse, but his competitive spirit was still there. So what if I'm at the great heights? Could it be that I can't win against her edgeless sword? She has sword aura, let me try using my true chi. Li Fan suddenly took a step back, turned his body, and kicked with his right leg. White deer reverse kick. Li Fan's right leg was wrapped with true chi, preparing to attack Murong Ying's sword. Dang! Like a bell being struck, a muffled sound was heard, and Li Fan's right leg stopped 5 centimeters away from Murong Ying's sword. Li Fan's true chi and Murong Ying's sword aura collided, and the two collided, cancelling each other out. Not bad, some growth. Murong Ying nodded her head, but it's still not enough. With that, her finger touched the sword hilt, and the sword aura exploded even more ferociously. Li Fan's right leg bounced off and kicked the wall beside him, immediately creating a dent in the wall. One move left. Li Fan was slightly flustered. Chapter 107. Li Fan took another step back. His hands suddenly pressed on the ground as if his whole body was lying on the ground. At this moment, the image of a toad appeared in Li Fan's mind. His whole body's appearance was almost the same. Following the image of the toad in his imagination, he breathed in and out a few times. Li Fan's aura seemed to have changed. Murong Ying was slightly stunned. The Li Fan in front of her seemed to have turned into a huge toad. Opening his mouth, he seemed to be able to swallow the world. Murong Ying quickly rubbed her eyes. It was still Li Fan lying there. What is this? Heaven-swallowing toad. My fiancé has turned into a toad. This is absolutely impossible. This can only mean one thing. In this instant, Li Fan and his martial arts have become one, reaching the most perfect harmony. Who? Li Fan suddenly took a deep breath. The oxygen in the room seemed to have entered his mouth, causing his brain to become even more excited. His blood flowed faster and his physical strength became stronger. Li Fan suddenly moved. His whole body bounced towards Murong Ying. Open! Although Murong Ying was surprised, her reaction was very fast. She immediately used the sword as a medium to release the sword chi in her body. The sword chi waves rushed out in all directions, vibrating like ripples, trying to block Li Fan's attack. Li Fan's eyes flashed with a cold light. Both of his hands gathered together. The true chi in his body gathered on top of his hands. Golden Toad Spitting Pearl. Li Fan condensed his true chi into a ball and directly shot it out. This ball instantly hit Murong Ying's sword chi. Li Fan's Golden Toad Spitting Pearl was condensed 10 times more true chi. It was very strong, just like a real cannonball. Even Murong Ying had no way to completely dissolve this chi bead in a short time. Dang! A minute later, the chi bead finally collided with Murong Ying's sword. The long sword immediately broke. Murong Ying leaned to the side and dodged the chi bead, causing it to hit the wall behind her in an instant. Boom! A crater with a radius of 1 meter was blasted into the wall, and it was covered in spiderweb cracks. It was extremely terrifying. This is Golden Toad Spitting Pearls. Murong Ying seemed a little surprised. She turned her head and looked at Li Fan. How did you comprehend this move? After all, I am only 19 years old. Li Fan clenched his fists. There are infinite possibilities. My dear wife, shouldn't we fulfill the promise we made before? Murong Ying took a step to the side. Suit yourself. Li Fan made a victory sign, put on his uniform, and was about to walk out. Wait a moment. Muronging suddenly stopped Li Fan. What's wrong? Are you regretting it? As the leader of the martial arts world, you actually don't keep your word. I always keep my word. Muronging said and clapped her hands. Immediately, a bodyguard walked over from the side and pushed a clothes rack. Although I don't know what you are going to do, my man can't always wear the school uniform when he goes out. Muronging put her hand on the clothes rack. Choose a set and put it on. Fuck, I feel like I'm being taken care of. Li Fan looked at the clothes on the clothes rack. They seem to be expensive. You are going out to do something. How can you always wear the school uniform? Muronging reminded Li Fan, no matter when, you must pay attention to your clothes. All right. Li Fan could only nod. On this point, Muronging and Lin Yuhsin coincidentally agreed. Li Fan did not have good taste. He chose a suit that looked the most low-key. He wore a shirt inside and matched it with a suit. When Li Fan changed his clothes, Muronging's eyes could not help but light up. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. Usually, when Li Fan wore the school uniform, it was hard to tell whether he was beautiful or ugly. It just felt like he was very energetic. But today, Li Fan changed into a suit. Coupled with his increasingly strong body and unique temperament of a martial artist, he looked a little handsome. Take root in the tie. Muronging chose a red tie from the rack and personally put it on Li Fan. Smelling the fragrance of Muronging's body, Li Fan really had a feeling that the two of them were already married. Your move just now was really good. After tying the tie for Li Fan, Muronging suddenly said softly, remember that feeling. Maybe it will surprise my father. Ah, really? Muronging rarely praised people. When she said that, Li Fan was a little happy. But it's just a little. The rest, you work hard. The master leads the way, but the cultivation depends on the individual. What Muronging did was to point the way for Li Fan. What he could achieve next would depend on himself. If next time I meet you, Muronging seemed to think of something and finally reminded Li Fan, don't be afraid. If you can't do it, just kiss her. What the hell, Muronging actually proposed such a shameless idea. Young master, where are you? Taizhu's voice seemed to be calling from afar. Let's go. Muronging said softly, I will help you talk to Taizhu. Okay, see you at home. It was getting late. Li Fan didn't stay any longer. He immediately jumped and ran out of the hospital. According to the time, today should be the opening day of Su Chen's gambling boat. As long as I go to the gambling boat, I should be able to find Guan Wenbao. Li Fan went out of the hospital and ran all the way. Taking advantage of the night, he rushed to the edge of Songjiang. However, after arriving here, he was a little surprised. Because today's Songjiang was different from usual. The gambling boat didn't dock, but it was a few hundred meters away from the dock. What the hell, Li Fan was a bit baffled. Shouldn't today be the day of the underground boxing? How can the guests board the boat when it's so far away? Could it be that there is a surprise inspection from above? Li Fan didn't have time to think too much. He took a branch from the tree next to him and threw it into the river, letting the branch move along the river. At the same time, Li Fan also ran a few steps, then jumped up and landed on the branch lightly. The ancients had Bodhidharma crossing the river on a reed. Today, there was Li Fan's treading on a branch. Li Fan named his internal strength as the 7 heroes record. Now that he had practiced it to the 4th stage, this little bit of Qigong was nothing to him. With the help of this branch, he easily boarded the gambling boat and landed on the deck. It seemed to be no different from usual. Such a big cruise ship, but there was no one on the deck. It was like a ghost ship. Li Fan was careful to lighten his footsteps, and silently sneaked into the cabin. Paw! 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 As soon as he entered the cabin, Li Fan heard a strange sound as if someone was setting off firecrackers. What's going on? Is there a gunfight? Li Fan felt strange and followed the sound. Chapter 108. Usually, the club's arena should be very lively, full of roars and curses. But today, when Li Fan approached here, he didn't hear that ear-piercing noise, only the sound of paw paw paw. Could it be that someone is shooting? This evil thought flashed through Li Fan's mind, but he quickly extinguished it. That kind of thing can't make such a big noise, otherwise people would be sent flying. Who can make such a big noise? The elephant is having a paw paw paw. At the door, a guard was smoking with his head down, and at the same time, he looked at the phone in his hand with a serious face, looking like he was reviewing international news or something. Li Fan stood in the corner, stretched out his hand, and held a gold ball in his hand. This thing is Murong Ying's hidden weapon. Li Fan is also embarrassed to sell it, so he used these gold balls as a hidden weapon. Throwing a hidden weapon also has a method. Li Fan didn't learn these methods. His method of throwing a hidden weapon is very rough, but he has 11 years of true qi, so he can be willful. This gold ball was thrown by Li Fan, and it hit the guard's forehead. With a bang, the guard didn't even have the time to groan, and fell straight to the ground. Seeing that you are too tired, take a nap, no need to thank me. Li Fan took back the gold ball. This is all real gold and silver, although he can't spend it, losing it is also distressing. No, it is not distressing, it is distressing. He dragged the guard to the side, leaned against the door, and through the crack, looked at the arena inside. As Li Fan expected, today there is no audience in the arena, only some of Su Chen's men, standing on both sides, as if it is a torture chamber. Su Chen, the big brother who was usually awe-inspiring, was now respectfully standing beside a woman. The woman looks very young, probably less than 20 years old, wearing a black cowboy clothing and a pair of delicate leather boots. She was beautiful, but her eyes were filled with malice. Li Fan could not help but guess the identity of this beautiful girl. For Su Chen to be so respectful, she must be someone even more powerful. When he looked at the center of the field, a wave of anger rose from his liver and burned to the top of his head. Because Guan Wenbao was hung in the middle of the field, there were two burly men on the side, also bare-chested, holding whips in their hands. They kept whipping Guan Wenbao, causing Guan Wenbao's body to be lacerated and bleeding. Stop! Li Fan exploded at that moment. No matter what, Guan Wenbao was his friend. How could he be treated like this? With a white deer reverse kick, he kicked the big iron door. The iron door was immediately kicked away and smashed to the ground with a clang, startling everyone in the hall. But these people seemed to be professional hooligans. When they heard the movement, they immediately pulled out a 7-hole knife from the scabbard at their waist. The shape of the 7-hole knife was somewhat like a Nepalese army knife, with 7 holes on it. This kind of knife was very vicious. The holes on it could bring air into the human body, causing more serious damage to the human body. Li Fan roughly counted, there were a total of 12 burly men, each of whose 7-hole knives were exactly the same, standard issue. Looking at the way they held the knife, they were very skilled. They were definitely people who played with knives all year round. Brother Li. When Su Chen saw Li Fan, he was obviously stunned for a moment. How come it's you? Li Fan. Guan Wenbao was also surprised. He had been whipped so many times and was dripping with blood, but he was still unyielding and spoke with confidence. Su Chen, you really surprised this lady. That beautiful young girl also saw Li Fan. Her crescent eyebrows raised, and the corner of her mouth slightly rose. I didn't expect that in this place of yours, there would be such an unruly person. You're right, I never follow other people's rules. Li Fan clenched his fist. Immediately release Guan Wenbao, otherwise I will smash this broken boat of yours. My God, what a big tone. The beautiful young girl stepped on her beautiful leather boots. Her tone was somewhat unkind. This lady has lived for 19 years, but this is the first time I see such a hothead like you. Su Qin, can you explain? Big miss. This person is called Li Fan. He was the champion of the black boxing tournament a few days ago. Su Qin quickly said, he is young and not very sensible. Please don't lower yourself to his level. I will send him away. Thank you, Boss Su, for your kindness. This Su Chen's character, Li Fan had seen it for himself. He is quite good to him. There is no need for him to keep arguing with him. But, if you don't take Guan Wenbao away today, I will not leave. Brother. The matter here is very complicated. You better leave quickly. Su Chen really doesn't want to provoke Li Fan, this malefic star. It can be said that he can't afford to offend Li Fan. But this big miss, even more so. Her name is Lu Xinan. She is the Red Dragon Group's big miss. This big miss has no other hobbies. Her family let her learn the 4 arts, but she likes to be a delinquent girl. But in the underworld, who doesn't call her big miss? Not only the Red Dragon Society, even the boss of the yellow-clothed group recognizes her as his goddaughter. She is also the fiancée of the young master of the vanguard, Yang Ruining. With so many strong connections, she is doing very well in a city. Listen, listen. Lu Xinan sneered in disdain, your tone is getting more and more arrogant. Little friend, your hair is not even fully grown yet, but you have quite the guts. My hair is not fully grown yet, but your chest is not developed yet. Li Fan retorted, how dare you be so presumptuous in an airport? You want to die. What Lu Xinan hates the most is people mocking her chest. She is just a little slow in developing. If you provoke me, the Red Dragon Society will not let you have a good time. Red Dragon Society. You are a member of the Red Dragon Society. This name is quite awesome. It is also one of the 3 major forces that Wu Ji mentioned before. Red Dragon Society, also known as the Red Dragon Gang. Red Dragon is the name of their group. It can be said that they have influence in both the underworld and the underworld in a city. Previously, Su Qin said that this ship is under the protection of the Red Dragon Society. It seems like he is not lying. Your Excellency, quickly leave. Don't worry about me. Guan Wenbao is a little anxious, Your Excellency and I are just acquaintances. I don't need Your Excellency to stand up for me. That's troublesome. Li Fan laughed and began to move his muscles. I like to meddle in other people's business. The more you don't let me meddle, the more interested I am in meddling. Interesting. Lu Xinan stood up and walked to Guan Wenbao's side. She personally picked up the whip and ruthlessly whipped Guan Wenbao. This whip hit Guan Wenbao's face, leaving a bloody mark on Guan Wenbao's square face. This lady likes to teach him a lesson, so what? She provocatively looked at Li Fan, which really angered Li Fan. Chapter 109. This woman really has a vicious heart. She's so beautiful, but her heart is like a snake and scorpion. He's my dog. I'm disciplining my own dog, what do you have to do with it? With that, Lu Xinan made Guan Wenbao kneel down, and then stepped on the back of Guan Wenbao's head with her beautiful leather boots. See? He's willing to be my dog. I can beat my own dog however I want. Another whip lashed on Guan Wenbao's back, making him bleed. You! This is too much. Li Fan is about to explode. This woman, how could she be born with such a black heart? Too much. I'll ask him for you. Lu Xinan put down her foot and hooked Guan Wenbao's chin with her hand. Do you think I'm too much? Not at all. Miss is right. Guan Wenbao's lips are full of blood. He murmured, it's my fault, I shouldn't have disobeyed Miss's order. You see, he thinks he's right, why are you meddling in other people's business? Lu Xinan's eyes are full of provocation. Li Fan sneered 3 times, fine, 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 now it's just me who's in a bad mood. Today, I must spank your butt. He he he. Lu Xinan covered her mouth and chuckled, death is imminent, but you're still so perverted. Every year, I don't know how many hotheads like you die. Let's see who's going to die today. Li Fan is already angry. Today, young master will take care of this matter. Chop him. Lu Xinan waved her hand, this kind of person is an eyesore. A person like you, when you die, will stink. As soon as Miss gives the order, the surrounding professional thugs immediately carry their 7 whole knives and run toward Li Fan. Su Chen sighs and can only take 2 steps back. When the gods fight, he can only hide. Dear strike. Li Fan took a deep breath and felt power flowing into his legs. For a buck, apart from the horns on its head, its long legs were also its most powerful weapons. At this moment, all of Li Fan's martial arts had fused into his legs. His hands were like antlers. A hatchet man had already rushed in front of Li Fan, the 7-hole knife stabbing toward Li Fan's lower abdomen. Li Fan grabbed the thug's arm with both of his hands. It was as if he was using antlers to clamp the thug's arm. The thug's arm could not move at all. At the same time, Li Fan grabbed the thug's arm and pulled him forward. His knee followed and hit the thug's chest. Pooh! The thug spat out a mouthful of acid and knelt on the ground, unable to get up for a long time. Another hatchet man followed up, and the 7-hole knife slashed at Li Fan's head. Li Fan raised both of his hands and grabbed the thug's arm again. Then he pulled down, pressing down on the thug's body, and lowered his head. At the same time, Li Fan's right leg kicked the thug's face like a scorpion's tail, knocking him out. Li Fan used his hands to support himself on the ground, turned his body upside down, and spread his legs apart. His arms carried the strength from his waist, and his legs created a whirlwind, immediately kicking the 3 surrounding thugs away. Ha! Lu Xinan seemed a little surprised, and her beautiful eyes widened. Li Fan followed with a forward roll and stood up again. His legs rotated, and 2 whipping kicks were sent out, kicking 2 more thugs to the ground. In just one move, Li Fan had already sent out 7 thugs. The remaining thugs did not dare to rush forward. They surrounded Li Fan and kept circling around, looking for an opportunity to attack. No wonder you're so arrogant, so you're a martial artist. Lu Xinan said, and suddenly picked up a delicate crossbow from the table beside her, and shot a bolt at Li Fan. But who was Li Fan? He suddenly kicked the 7-hole knife on the ground. The 7-hole knife spun and flew out, splitting Lu Xinan's bolt in half. The 7-hole knife continued to spin, and Guan Wenbao suddenly stood up, pulled out a beautiful Mongolian knife from Lu Xinan's waist, and slashed at the spinning knife. Dang! Golden sparks appeared, and Lu Xinan's crisis was resolved. Li Fan slightly frowned, and Lu Xinan touched her small chest, and then smiled. How is it? This is called a loyal dog protecting its master, did you see it? With that, Lu Xinan loaded another bolt, and then shot at Guan Wenbao's calf. Poochie! This bolt sank into Guan Wenbao's calf, but Guan Wenbao only frowned, he did not even make a sound. I can't shoot you, but can't I shoot him? With that, she took out another bolt. Where should I shoot this time? How's the eye? Go die. Li Fan could not bear it anymore. This woman is a madwoman. He threw a golden marble straight at Lu Xinnan's eye. Guan Wenbao waved the Mongolian knife again, deflecting Li Fan's hidden weapon. Big brother, don't mess around. I'm helping you. Li Fan is helpless. Is this Guan Wenbao crazy? Sir, I'm very sorry. Guan Wenbao cupped his fist at Li Fan, but Miss is indeed my master now. Even if I die, I will protect master's safety. Damn it, you're really stubborn. Hee, what a good dog. Lu Xinnan patted Guan Wenbao's cheek with satisfaction. Not bad, later I'll reward you with 2 more pieces of meat. Enough. Li Fan was furious. Poisonous snake woman, if you have the ability, fight me one-on-one. What kind of ability is bullying Guan Wenbao? This is my ability. Lu Xinnan opened her hands. Everything here is my ability. Who told me to be born with a golden spoon in my mouth? If I want to kill you, I don't even need to do it myself. Guan Wenbao, go kill him. Miss. What, you want to disobey orders again? Lu Xinnan coldly snorted. Don't forget, who helped you redeem the escort agency. Guan Wenbao, your identity is my dog. Don't tell me you want to break the contract. I don't dare. Guan Wenbao lowered his head. I swore to be Miss Loyal Dog for life. Men, give him a knife.
Lu Xinnan gave an order, and a few thugs immediately walked over. 2 of them helped Guan Wenbao put on the armor, while the other handed the Yenyuan knife to Guan Wenbao. Guan Wenbao closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He suddenly waved the knife and cut off the arrow on his calf, then pointed the knife at Li Fan. Sir, please enlighten me. You. Li Fan was in a dilemma. This Guan Wenbao, can't he turn his head around? Stubborn, too stubborn. Please enlighten me. Please enlighten me. Please enlighten me. Guan Wenbao shouted 3 times in a row, then leaped up. With endless aggressiveness, he ruthlessly chopped down at Li Fan's head.
Chapter 110. The Guan family's saber technique was indeed domineering. Li Fan stood there and looked up at Guan Wenbao. He felt as if a god of war was standing in front of him and chopping down with his saber. Come at me. Li Fan had no other way. There was only one way to deal with Guan Wenbao. He had to beat him to the ground first. Golden Toad Spitting Pearl. Li Fan stretched out his hands and gathered the true qi in his body. Then he gathered it together and shot it towards the top of his head. A white qi pearl blossomed from Li Fan's hands and hit the edge of Guan Wenbao's crescent blade. Li Fan had trained the 7 heroes' force to the 4th stage. The power contained within it was not ordinary. But Guan Wenbao's decisive righteousness was also trained to the point of perfection. It was extraordinary. This saber seemed to have a red glow on it as it collided with Li Fan's qi pearl. Li Fan's sleeves were torn apart by the qi strength. It was a pity for his suit. Guan Wenbao's saber blade was slightly curled. Finally, it was flicked away, causing Guan Wenbao to take 2 steps back. The qi pearl went straight to the top of their heads and hit the ceiling, breaking the huge crystal chandelier. It fell straight down and smashed towards the 2 of them. If they were ordinary people, they would have been smashed into meat paste. Fortunately, they were 2 martial artists. Guan Wenbao raised his saber and cut the chandelier in half. More fragments flew towards Li Fan. Immortal crane flaps wings. Li Fan's hands kept slapping and sent the fragments flying to the side. There were so many fragments but not a single one could get close to Li Fan's body. Lu Xinnan watched from the side without even blinking. This was a battle between an expert who was on par with Guan Wenbao. This was a duel between martial artists. Guan Wenbao. Li Fan shouted, and his chi strength filled his body again. Wake up! Idiot! As he spoke, he leaped up and pounced towards Guan Wenbao. Sir! Please give it your all. Guan Wenbao swung his crescent blade horizontally with a ferocious glint, as if he wanted to split Li Fan into two. However, Li Fan lowered his body and slid along the ground. Black toad crossing water. Guan Wenbao swung his saber in the air, but he was relentless. The blade changed direction and slashed down at Li Fan. However, Li Fan suddenly snapped his fingers and the spirit monkey escaped. His body strangely disappeared in front of Guan Wenbao. When he reappeared, he was a meter away from the ground, and his feet stepped on the back of Guan Wenbao's saber. Bang! Guan Wenbao's crescent blade was stepped into the ground. Following that, Li Fan stepped on the shaft of the crescent blade and charged towards Guan Wenbao. It's his turn. Wake up! Originally, he was going to use the black tiger heart gouging move to grab Guan Wenbao's face. This time, not only could he crush Guan Wenbao's eyes, but he could also pierce through his cheeks. However, when his hand was in front of Guan Wenbao, Li Fan suddenly retracted it and changed to the ape-strike spirit monkey jumping up the tree. He moved his body sideways and kicked Guan Wenbao's chest like a cannonball. Thud, thud, thud. Guan Wenbao took 3 steps back and finally stepped on the ground to stabilize his body. Trash. Lu Shinan was very unhappy. Bring his horse out. As soon as he finished speaking, a Fergana horse galloped its iron hooves and charged into the arena. Lisa was very fast. Guan Wenbao jumped and landed on the horse's back. At the same time, he took out a telescopic blade from the saddle with his left hand and a blade with his right hand. He quickly assembled them together and rushed in front of Li Fan with a sweep. Total annihilation. This time, it indeed had the momentum of total annihilation. This time, Li Fan could also see that with the warhorse, Guan Wenbao's martial arts had increased by more than 10%. After all, he was a warhorse family. Li Fan couldn't help but admire him. But now was not the time to admire him. It was a battle. Golden Toad spitting pearl. An energy pearl exploded from Li Fan's palm and fiercely slammed it on the ground. Boom! The body of the ship started to shake, and cracks appeared on the ground. The warhorse couldn't stand steadily and staggered. Guan Wenbao's broadsword also lost its balance and did not hit Li Fan. Again. Guan Wenbao had been practicing horsemanship all year round. It could be said that his control of balance on the horse was better than on the ground. Lisa, the warhorse, also had a telepathic connection with him. It raised its front hooves and jumped to the side. At the same time, Guan Wenbao whipped the horse and galloped along the arena, as if looking for the next opportunity to attack. Li Fan was calm. Guan Wenbao's warhorse was running very fast, but in his eyes, it seemed to be slower. He suddenly shot an energy pearl into the distance. This energy pearl drew an arc and smashed on the ground. Boom! The energy immediately exploded, but Guan Wenbao had already pulled the reins and let Lisa jump to the side. So agile. Li Fan could not help but admire this person's horsemanship. Let's see if your horse is faster or my deer is faster. Li Fan's body pressed down, and then his legs kicked fiercely. He actually ran after Guan Wenbao's warhorse. This idiot, is he going to use his own legs to catch up with a Fergana horse? Lu Shinan could not help but laugh, but soon, she could not laugh anymore. Deer scamper. The speed of a wild deer was also amazing. Li Fan's legs stepped on the ground and he ran at high speed. He actually managed to catch up with Guan Wenbao's speed. Your kung fu is indeed amazing. Guan Wenbao could not help but praise. If there's a next life, I really hope to be friends with you. As he said that, he suddenly pulled the reins and the warhorse raised its front hooves high. Then, Guan Wenbao's crescent moon blade slashed sideways. Mad Dragon goes to sea. This slash was Guan Wenbao's ultimate skill. Now that it was executed on the warhorse, it was even more powerful. Flame. In Li Fan's eyes, there seemed to be a flame burning. This was the blade energy of Guan Wenbao's crescent moon blade. It was a flame created by friction with the air. If he did not do anything, Li Fan's body might really be cut in half. Guan Wenbao's eyes were filled with determination. After this battle, he would also end his own life. This way, he would return the favor to Missy. Your Excellency. On the road to hell, I'll accompany you. Guan Wenbao shouted along with the crescent moon blade, but Li Fan's eyes lit up. At that moment, it was as if a giant bear had stood up behind Li Fan. Guan Wenbao was slightly shocked. Li Fan was extremely calm. His body and mind were once again one with his kung fu. Bear strike. Bear. Mount. Army. At this moment, Li Fan's body seemed to have endless strength. He felt like he was a giant bear in armor. Looking at the crescent moon blade, Li Fan directly stretched out his hands and grabbed the shaft of Guan Wenbao's blade. Bang! The blade was less than a centimeter away from Li Fan's waist, but it was forcefully stopped. A strong force spread out in all directions. Chapter 111. The shockwave that Guan Wenbao created was definitely heaven-defying. The surrounding ground was shaken to the point that layers upon layers of cracks appeared. His strength was evident, and it was shocking to the eye. If not for Li Fan comprehending the true meaning of the seven heroes' fist at the last moment, he might have really been defeated. Under the bear cavalry state, Li Fan's physical strength and defense were greatly enhanced. He grabbed Guan Wenbao's crescent blade and lifted both his arms. He actually lifted Guan Wenbao off the horse. Lisa was anxious to protect her master. She immediately turned around, raised her hind hooves and kicked at Li Fan's chest. But Li Fan just stood there and ate Lisa's two sturdy hooves. Bang! Li Fan's body shook slightly, but his true qi wrapped around his body and protected him. It was because Lisa's legs were sore and she almost fell to the ground. Fall! Li Fan swung both of his hands and smashed Guan Wenbao heavily onto the ground again. Guan Wenbao was born with great strength, but this was the first time he lost to someone else in terms of strength. Bang! With a loud sound, Guan Wenbao heavily smashed onto the ground. The armor on his body was broken into pieces and scattered to the side. Useless. Really useless. Lu Xinan was so angry that she stomped her feet. Li Fan couldn't help but sigh. This girl's chest was flat. She didn't even have a sense of beauty. As for Guan Wenbao, he was injured and probably wouldn't be able to get up for a while. Venomous woman, can you fight me one-on-one now? Li Fan crooked his finger at Lu Xinan. But Lu Xinan snorted, you're still far from it. Didn't you just defeat a dog like me? What's so great about that? As she said that, she sized up Li Fan, why don't you be my dog? I can see that you're quite strong and should be able to protect me. Dream on. Li Fan snorted coldly, I don't want to be a dog for a vicious woman. Who's the scorpion lady? I have a name. Lu Xinan pointed at her own nose, remember my name, Lu. Exin. Nan. Scorpion lady, let go of Guan Wenbao. Li Fan berated loudly. Bastard. don't you understand Chinese? Lu Xinan said angrily, you're so disobedient. You're not even qualified to be a dog. And that Guan Wenbao, trash. You're not fit to be my dog. In that case, why don't the two of you listen to my advice? Su Chen felt that it was time to say a few words. Otherwise, things might get out of hand if they continued. Sure, let's hear what you have to say. For the time being, Lu Xinan also didn't know what to do. This Li Fan indeed had some ability to defeat Guan Wenbao. This time, she didn't bring any experts with her and actually suffered a loss. Boss Su, if you have anything to say, feel free to say it. Li Fan also didn't want to make things difficult for Su Chen. This Guan Wenbao's family was in dire straits. It was eldest Miss who spent money to help Guan Wenbao redeem his family's escort agency. Su Chen said, that's why Guan Wenbao sold himself to eldest Mississippi. Since eldest Miss dislikes him, why don't you redeem Guan Wenbao? Sure, how much? 2 million. Su Chen raised 2 fingers, causing Li Fan to feel slightly embarrassed. That, can you give me a discount? Humph, I won't give you a single cent. Lu Xinan curled her lips, you poor ghost, if you have the guts, then compensate me at the original price. I only have 1,500,000. Li Fan was indeed short of money. This 1,500,000 was all he had. I didn't expect that a poor ghost like you would have some pocket money. Lu Xinan curled her lips, sure, then I'll give you a chance. As long as you do one thing for me, I'll give you a discount of 500,000. How about it? Sir. Guan Wenbao slowly climbed up and persuaded Li Fan, no need. No need to do so much for me. Just stay here. Li Fan rolled his eyes, whether I help you or not, it's up to me. That's right. This is an opportunity that this miss is giving you. You must cherish it. Lu Xinan smiled again, if you help me beat someone up, this miss will deduct 500,000 from you. If I help you beat someone up, I'll deduct the money. Li Fan bargained. You wish. That person isn't worth 2 million. 500,000 is just because this miss is happy, I'm overestimating him. Lu Xinan rolled her eyes. Are you going to do it or not? Forget it. Fine, I'll do it. For Guan Wenbao, even if it's a dragon's pool or a tiger's den, Li Fan would still rush in. Hee, good, good. Since you've agreed, then I can temporarily lend you Guan Wenbao. Lu Xinan happily clapped her hands, that 1,500,000, just remember to give it to Su Chen. With that, she suddenly took out a phone from her pocket and threw it to Li Fan. You're still giving me a phone. Dream on. This is your contact number. Lu Xinan proudly said, when this miss finds you, you must come out immediately and beat someone up for me. I'm not your bodyguard. Humph, of course you're not my bodyguard. You're just this miss pet. Lu Xinan seemed to have thought of something and was very happy, although it's only a one-time use, it should be of some use. Venomous woman. I'm Lu Xinan. Venomous woman. Li Fan really did not have a good impression of this woman. What the hell, what kind of upbringing did she have to be able to raise such a vile woman? Remember to keep it on all day, I don't have the patience to wait for someone. With that, Lu Xinan turned around and left. No matter what, it's good that Miss agreed. Su Chen held out his hand to Li Fan, brother, no discord, no concord. It's fate that brought us together. Li Fan shook hands with him, and at the same time, Su Chen ordered the injured man to be carried away. Old Guan, let me treat your injury. Li Fan and Su Chen exchanged some pleasantries. After all, he had caused a scene here, and the host was not angry, which was already giving him face. Li Fan sat down cross-legged, while Guan Wenbao was still declining. "Don't trouble yourself, sir. Cut the crap." Li Fan was a little annoyed. There were a lot of things to do tonight, and he had to beat up Guan Wenbao. Fortunately, Guan Wenbao's beating was not in vain. At least he had temporarily redeemed himself. "Boss Su, I'm really sorry to disturb you today." Li Fan still had to be polite to Su Qin, but Su Qin waved his hand. "Don't mention it. I'll treat you as my brother from now on." Su Qin wanted to pat Li Fan's shoulder, but he was afraid of being hurt by their internal force, so he hesitated. "I've offended you in the past. I'll treat Boss Su to a drink some other day." "Brother, you're too polite. It's not the right time to talk, let's talk some other day. You can use this place as you like, and you can come and go as you please in the gambling boat. I'll tell my brothers." "Thank you, Su Qin." After Su Qin left, Guan Wenbao suddenly opened his eyes and said to Li Fan, "Sir, don't trust Su Qin too much. He's too shrewd." Chapter 112. At noon the next day, Li Fan had already cleaned up and was ready to leave the hospital. He was really tired after a night of tossing and turning last night. Especially the battle with Guan Wenbao, it could be said that he had consumed a lot of true qi. After a sleep, although he had almost recovered, there was no feeling of fullness, which made Li Fan somewhat uncomfortable. A doctor walked into Li Fan's ward, but Li Fan knew that this guy was not a doctor, but Bai Lin Luo in a white coat. Although Bai Lin Luo was thin, he was not short. When he wore a white coat and a mask, no one could tell that he was a high school student. All of this was a normal procedure. In a while, Bai Lin Luo would personally send Li Fan out of the hospital. His existence was to send Tai Zhu and Mu Ronging away. Only when these two women were not around him, Li Fan would be able to lure out Li Wenjue behind the scenes. This bastard hid like a mouse. If he didn't give him some delicious food, he wouldn't come out at all. And the role played by Huang Lei was also very simple. He was responsible for stocking a cart selling roasted sausages downstairs. "The patient still needs to go through some procedures to be discharged. Please go downstairs to help the patient." "Ah, haven't we already done it?" Tai Zhu was stunned for a moment. "There are some follow-up procedures," said Bai Lin Luo expressionlessly. "Well, since you said so." Mu Ronging nodded and was about to go downstairs with Tai Zhu to go through the procedures, but a girl suddenly opened the door of the ward and timidly glanced at Li Fan. "Ah, you are really here." Lin Yuhsian had a ponytail today and wore a very white dress, which looked very cute and playful. Li Fan's head immediately swelled up. This girl, why did she suddenly run over? "I've been looking for you for a long time before I realized that you were in this ward." This was the first time Lin Yuhsian had been to a place like this, so she was a little surprised. Mu Ronging raised her eyebrows and looked at Lin Yuhsian again. "I heard that you were discharged today, so I came to pick you up." "Ah. Murong, sensei. Why are you here too?" Lin Yuhsian was surprised to see Mu Ronging here. Although Mu Ronging was the school's director, the students usually called her teacher. "Tai Zhu, go downstairs and do the paperwork." Mu Ronging seemed to be interested. She waved her hand and asked the tall and strong Tai Zhu to go downstairs. Seeing Tai Zhu's appearance, Lin Yuhsian was obviously a little scared. She subconsciously walked behind Li Fan, pulled his sleeve and said, "Li Fan. Who is that? He looks so fierce, that's my housekeeper." Mu Ronging crossed her arms and looked at Lin Yuhsian. "This should be the school's top classmate Lin. Why are you here?" "Because Li Fan was injured because of me, Sensei Murong." Lin Yuhsin hurriedly explained. On the other hand, Sensei Murong, why are you here? Because I'm his fiancé. The corner of Murong Ying's mouth slightly rose. Lin Yuhsin was immediately stunned. Li Fan was also stunned. Motherfucker, it's messed up, it's all fucking messed up. What's wrong with Murong Ying today? What happened to being low-key? What happened to not revealing her identity? Fiancé. Even if Lin Yuhsin had an IQ of 140, she was also stunned at this moment. What? What the hell is going on? How could Li Fan have a fiancé out of nowhere? Moreover, it's a great beauty like Murong Ying. Didn't he say that he wanted to chase after Murong Ying? What the hell is going on? Lin Yuhsin, we're only fiancé in name. Don't be scared. Li Fan was afraid that Lin Yuhsin would leak this matter out, so he hurriedly explained, actually we don't have any substantial relationship. Don't misunderstand and don't tell anyone. How is there no substantial relationship? Murong Ying somewhat proudly touched her flat belly. I'm already pregnant with your child. What? Lin Yuhsin nearly exploded. Pregnant with child. You guys. Did. Lin Yuhsin stuttered. Li Fan immediately clarified. Stop messing around. At most, we've only kissed. Only kissed. Lin Yuhsin seemed to be relieved, but very quickly, she became unhappy again. Even if it's just kissing. I'm a little uncomfortable. Murong Ying and Li Fan. The two of them are actually fiancé. Then what should I do? No. Lin Yuhsin, what are you thinking? What relationship do the two of them have with you? Why are you so worried? That's right, I'm helping Li Fan to re-establish his three views. He's so young, and he's already engaged to someone when he's still studying. This is not proper. This is a mental illness. That's right. That's right. I'm a qualified psychiatrist. I have to treat him. I have a great responsibility. I must not lose in the battle of treatment. Lin Yuhsin secretly encouraged herself. At this time, Murong Ying began to ask her to leave. Classmate Lin, you can go back now. I'll take care of him. Teacher Murong, no matter what, Li Fan was injured because of me. As a classmate and a good friend, I should naturally take him out of the hospital. Lin Yuhsin raised her head as if she was issuing a challenge. Oh. Murong Ying seemed to be smiling. It was unknown if it was a light smile or a cold smile. In any case, from Li Fan's point of view, it wasn't a good smile. If it's Li Fan, naturally I, as his fiancé, will take him out of the hospital. As she said, her gaze fell on Li Fan. Back to our warm home, right, husband? This husband made Lin Yuhsin feel extremely uncomfortable. What's going on? Why do I feel so uncomfortable? It must be because the air in the hospital isn't that good. Teacher Murong, you're not legally recognized as husband and wife. It's not right for you to call me that. Lin Yuhsin said unconvinced. Moreover, Li Fan is still a high school student. Moreover, he's going to take the college entrance examination next year. He shouldn't be exposed to marriage so early. This will affect his future. Classmate Lin, I can feel your concern for your classmate. Murong Ying lightly said, but my man's future, I naturally have the final say. He has hands and feet. He's also a man. Why does he need a woman like you to have the final say? Lin Yuhsin became even more unhappy. Because he's the father of my child. He must take responsibility. Forget it. Don't you have any physiological knowledge? Kissing won't make you pregnant. You speak as if you understand it very well. Have you ever kissed before? This. Lin Yuhsin was flustered. But Muronging continued to provoke, classmate Lin, your current task is to study well. Don't be overly concerned about the opposite-sex students. Be careful that it will affect your grades. My grades have always been good. Teacher Murong doesn't need to worry about me. Li Fan, let's go. I'll accompany you out of the hospital. Husband, I'll take you home. The two of them simultaneously stretched out their hands towards Li Fan. Chapter 113. To communicate with these two women, Li Fan felt that he would rather fight with Guan Wenbao for another 300 rounds. Motherfucker, what the hell was going on? His plan was about to be disrupted by these two women. You two, stop fooling around. I'm a patient, do you know that? Li Fan said angrily, moreover, I have legs, I can get out of the hospital by myself. I don't need your help. As he spoke, he ignored the two women and directly pushed open the door and walked out. Ah, Li Fan. Wait a minute. Muronging stopped Lin Yuhsin who wanted to chase after him. Classmate Lin, how about the two of us have a chat? Director Murong, I don't think the two of us have anything to talk about. Lin Yuhsin looked at Muronging, we don't belong to the same world. Indeed, we don't belong to the same world. Muronging agreed with this point. But because of a certain someone, they crossed paths. Although this is not the result that I want to see, there are some words that I want to warn you about. Director Murong has a high position and power. Lin Yuhsin said with a bit of sarcasm, I'm really flattered that you want to personally warn a small figure like me. Classmate Lin, you're still young, there's no need for you to speak so harshly. Muronging looked at Lin Yuhsin as if she was looking at a little girl. After all, the marriage between me and Li Fan is something that both parents have agreed to. It's absolutely impossible for you to interfere. Moreover, Li Fan is not an ordinary person, and he's not someone that a girl like you can control. It's better for you to keep your distance from him. That's funny. Lin Yuhsin curled her lips. First of all, I don't have that kind of feelings for Li Fan. Secondly, even if I do have feelings for him, who are you to stop me? What era was it now? Arranged marriages were no longer practiced. You two haven't even gotten a marriage certificate. Even if I like him, it's reasonable and legal. Director Murong, with your status, you shouldn't have said these things to me. What's wrong? Are you afraid? Me? Afraid? Of course you're scared. Lin Yuhsin nodded confidently. I'm majored in psychology. You can't hide it from me. You're afraid that I'll snatch Li Fan away. Ridiculous. Muronging snorted coldly, why would I be afraid? If you're not afraid, how about we make a bet? Lin Yuhsin made a victory sign in her heart. Although Murongying's figure was better than hers, and her background was also better than mine. But when it came to intelligence, that was his advantage. Bet? Tell me about it. From Li Fan's. Classmate Li's attitude, you should be able to tell that his feelings for us are similar. So, we're on equal footing now, and the opportunity is also fair. Both of us, let's bet on who can make Li Fan fall for you. Interesting. Muronging crossed her arms and pondered for a while, but, you'll definitely lose. Are you sure you want to compete? We'll know after we compete. The loser will leave Li Fan's world. Do you dare to do that? Lin Yuhsin deliberately provoked Muronging. She knew that this method was more effective. Why not? Muronging nodded, I accept your challenge. Okay. Lin Yuhsin was a little proud. She was killing two birds with one stone. She didn't say to chase after Li Fan, but to make Li Fan fall for her first. Humph humph, it's not difficult to make Li Fan fall for me. Moreover, we don't need to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I can win against a beauty like Muronging and make her leave Li Fan on her own accord. Then, I can let Li Fan return to his normal life and correct his worldview. Ayaya, I'm really awesome. I can actually think of such an awesome idea. Then it's a deal. It's a deal. When the two women pulled away from the smoke-free battlefield, Li Fan was also setting up his own trap. There was a secluded corner at the back of the hospital. There was almost no one there. Li Fan deliberately bought a grilled sausage and cola from Huang Lei. As if to avoid everyone's sight, he squatted in the corner and started to eat the grilled sausage. But to be honest, Li Fan hadn't eaten such delicious food for a long time. He was quite excited. He didn't want to get injured again. The feeling of not being able to eat was really unpleasant. Take the bait. Quickly take the bait. Li Fan sat on the stairs and took out his phone. He pretended to secretly eat while scrolling through Weibo. Tai Zhu and Muronging weren't here. Li Wenjue should know that this was his only chance. After a few more days of recovery, he probably wouldn't be able to kill me. If I were Li Wenjue, I definitely wouldn't miss this opportunity. Li Fan waited for more than an hour. His phone was almost out of battery. He finally stood up and stretched his body. He was ready to leave. But at this moment, a chilly wind came down from above. Li Fan didn't hesitate and immediately turned around and kicked. Li Wenjue somersaulted in mid-air and landed on top of a dried fountain statue to stabilize himself. We meet again. Li Fan finally smiled. Seeing Li Wenjue again, he wasn't angry but excited. It's time to continue our unfinished battle, right? It's time to complete your nightmare. Li Wenjue took a deep breath and slowly separated his palms. Thanks to you, my minor formless magic technique had a breakthrough. It's now the 5th level. Then aren't you going to treat me to a meal? I'll send you to hell. Li Wenjue said and suddenly chopped at Li Fan with his hand. Li Fan took a step back. Li Wenjue's hand chopped at the wall behind Li Fan. Pang! The wall was forcibly cut out a groove, and then Li Wenjue used another piercing hand, which was dodged by Li Fan sideways. Pooh! The wall was once again pierced by Li Wenjue's palm. Damn it! Minor formless magic technique is a bit too heaven-defying. Even I can't train my body to be like steel. The current Li Wenjue doesn't need the goose feather blade, nor does he need a pair of iron claws. He himself is the strongest weapon in the world. You can't defeat me. Li Wenjue continued to attack. Li Fan could only use the red-crowned crane wings to block the attacks. The red-crowned crane wings can be said to be Li Fan's best defense. It allows him to form a 1-meter vacuum zone around him, blocking any attack. But Li Wenjue's attacks are too strong. Soon, Li Fan's hands were covered in wounds. It seems like he won't be able to hold on for long. But Li Fan doesn't panic. Instead, he is very calm. He is waiting for an opportunity. Go to hell. Li Wenjue's left hand suddenly stabbed at Li Fan's throat. This is the moment. Li Wenjue's dominant hand is his left hand. His goal was to seal his left hand. Chapter 114. Dear Capture. Li Fan's hands lock onto Li Wenjue's left hand as he forcefully pulls it down. Although Li Wenjue has copper skin and iron bones, Li Fan's deer strike technique lock technique makes him unable to break free. His body is pushed forward but Li Wenjue doesn't care. Even if he can lock his arm, Li Fan won't be able to hurt him. His lesser phaseless divine technique is that heaven-defying. He has already trained it to the 5th stage. As long as he can kill Li Fan, he might be able to advance to 1,000 households when he returns. Li Wenjue looks at Li Fan with eyes filled with greed. It is as if Li Fan is just a prey in his eyes. And this kind of gaze is something that Li Fan doesn't like. Still not giving up. Li Wenjue sneers, "Your death date has arrived." "No, it is your death date." Li Fan suddenly laughs. Li Wenjue is thinking in his heart, could it be that this fellow has gone crazy from despair? Before he could figure it out, a bad feeling suddenly exploded from his back, causing Li Wenjue to feel a chill run down his spine. Li Wenjue turns his head and sees a horrifying scene. The statue of second Master Guan by the side of the fountain suddenly moves. No, that is not a statue. It is clearly a man with silver paint on his face. He raises a crescent moon blade in his hand and suddenly jumps over. In a blink of an eye, the crescent moon blade brings with it a crimson glow as it lands on Li Wenjue's arm. Splitting Mount Hua. Guan Wenbao's Guan family's saber technique is very domineering. Its attack power is strong and it presses forward. Li Fan believes that with Guan Wenbao's saber technique, he can definitely restrain Li Wenjue's lesser phaseless divine technique. Indeed, the air seems to burn as the crimson flame slashes on Li Wenjue's arm. Clang! With a muffled sound, Li Wenjue's arm trembled heavily, and then with a fupuchi sound, it was forcefully chopped off by Guan Wenbao's saber. Impossible! Li Wenjue howled in pain and took 3 steps back. At the same time, he sealed the qi and blood in his left hand to prevent himself from losing too much blood and becoming weak. But even if he dealt with it in time, he had lost an arm just like that. Moreover, it was his favorite hand. As for Guan Wenbao's crescent blade, it was bent. It was a ghastly sight. Li Wenjue clutched his broken arm, coldly staring at Li Fan and Guan Wenbao. Despicable bastard, how dare you sneak attack me? Go to hell. Don't be shameless. Li Fan cursed, how dare you say such things? A mere inexperienced brat dares to scheme against me. I'll take your life. As Li Wenjue spoke, his eyes were already bloodshot. His right hand directly reached out towards Li Fan. Even if he only had one arm, he still wanted to fight him to determine who was better. Old Guan, leave the rest to me. Li Fan did not want to team up and bully a person with only one arm. His body trembled and he roared, causing the ground around him to tremble. Bear strike. Bear cavalry. Li Fan's body seemed to have swelled up a bit. True qi filled his body, strengthening his muscles, and even the bones in his body had changed. Just like India's yoga, when cultivated to the extreme, Chinese true qi could also allow a person to be reborn. At this time, under the strengthening of true qi, Li Fan's height of 1.7 meters had grown to 1.9 meters. The muscles on his body had also become firmer. At first glance, Li Fan looked like a giant bear in human form. Li Fan was wearing a suit, but his shirt was torn by Li Fan. His pants had also become cropped. Seeing Li Fan's transformation, Li Wenjue was clearly shocked. Abnormal bone changing. This Li Fan's internal energy had already undergone such a powerful transformation. Even after training to the 5th level of minor phaseless technique, he still could not achieve abnormal bone changing. At the very least, he needed to reach the 8th level of minor phaseless technique. And this man clearly only had the strength of 4 tigers. How could he achieve such a feat? Black Bear slamming the door. Li Fan raised his palm and slapped towards Li Wenjue's face. Li Wenjue raised his right arm and blocked in front of him. But the power of Li Fan's slap was too strong. In an instant, his body was sent flying as if he was swatting a bug. Boom! The fountain sculpture behind him was instantly crushed. Li Wenjue was lying inside. Although he did not suffer any external injuries because of minor phaseless technique, his internal organs were affected, and his blood flow was somewhat unstable. Li Fan took 2 steps forward and grabbed Li Wenjue. With a single hand, he lifted him into the air and smashed him on both sides. Finally, he smashed him heavily on the ground and added a kick. Bam! This kick was extremely heavy, and Li Wenjue spat out a mouthful of blood. The power of this kick from Li Fan was too strong. Even with his golden body, Li Wenjue could not completely block it. He was extremely shocked. How could a mere Li Fan have such strength? Li Wenjue, I did not have the intention to hurt you, but you forced me. Li Fan stepped on Li Wenjue with one foot and said in a muffled voice, I will not kill you, but I will accept your martial arts. With that, he suddenly retracted his bear cavalry stance. His bones let out a crackling sound, and his body returned to its original state. Then, he changed to Toad Strike. Before Li Wenjue could stand up, Li Fan slapped him on the forehead. He was a pure yang body, so he could absorb a woman's true qi from his mouth. Li Fan had always wanted to improve on this. If he could not only absorb true qi from women, it would be much more convenient. Furthermore, absorbing it from his mouth was too evil. He could use his mouth on women, but he could not bear to use his mouth on men. Therefore, during the few days that Li Fan had been recuperating in the hospital, he had comprehended a new technique. Dragon Toad Ingestion. Li Fan allowed his true qi to form a black hole from his palm, and then let it flow through his body, imitating the way a pure yang body absorbs true qi. Although the effect was less than 1/10 of a pure yang body, it was very useful for a seriously injured person. Li Fan's palm was like a greedy toad sucking water, forcefully extracting true qi from Li Wenjue's Baihui acupoint. What are you doing? Li Wenjue was terrified, and he felt a wave of panic in his heart. Following that, the true qi in his body seemed to be out of his control, and was forcefully extracted from his dantian. It was as if he was sleeping soundly in his bed, and suddenly a burly man pulled him out of his bed. This feeling was really uncomfortable. No! No! The dignified Li Baihu was letting out a miserable cry like a woman. And his true qi was continuously being extracted from his dantian, and through the Baihui acupoint on the top of his head, it entered Li Fan's body. Let me go, I beg you to let me go. Li Wenjue wailed like a ghost and howled like a wolf, but Li Fan did not have the slightest intention of letting go. In fact, he was no longer under Li Fan's control. He felt as if his hand was growing on Li Wenjue's head, and was frantically extracting true qi from his body. He could not stop. Chapter 115. This is also the first time Li Fan uses Dragon Toad's ingestion of water. He didn't think that such a situation would occur. It can be said that he is just using Li Wenjue to test the waters. But who would have thought that the result of testing the waters is a little beyond Li Fan's expectations. The true qi in Li Wenjue's body is completely squeezed out from his dantian. Almost nothing is left, all of it is extracted. In less than 3 minutes, Li Wenjue is already paralyzed on the ground, twitching non-stop. All of the true qi in his body has been extracted by Li Fan. It can be said that he is equivalent to being crippled. From now on, he basically has no fate with martial arts. To him, this is more painful than killing him. Li Fan finally absorbs all of Li Wenjue's internal energy. The uncontrollable suction force from his palm also stops. He looks at his own hand, his heart is filled with amazement. Dragon Toad's ingestion of water can be said to be a technique that harms others to benefit oneself. Furthermore, this benefit is pitifully small. After absorbing so much energy, Li Fan can only use 10% of it. This 10% still needs time to be refined. After refining, it should be enough to raise his strength to the strength of 5 tigers. This way, his realm will step into the advanced level. The distance between him and Muronging is getting closer and closer. Li Fan believes that sooner or later, he will surpass Muronging. What he needs is time and opportunity. But Li Wenjue is already at his limit. Not to mention that he has lost an arm, he has also lost all of his internal energy. Now that his dantian is also crippled, what awaits him is endless despair. Your Excellency. Guan Wenbao kneels down in front of Li Fan and cups his hands and says, Wenbao has a request. How many times have I said, don't call me Your Excellency? Li Fan waves his hand, just call me by my name. Sir. Please agree to Wenbao's presumptuous request, but Guan Wenbao still insisted, so Li Fan could only nod. Okay. Tell me, what do you want from me? Sir, please promise Wenbao that you will never use this evil method again. Guan Wenbao pleaded, destroying a person's martial arts is scarier than killing a person. Wenbao, I hope that Your Excellency will not use this kind of evil technique again. If you want to use it, you might as well kill him. I think I understand what you mean. Li Fan nodded, but Huang Lei had been secretly watching from the side for a long time. When he heard Guan Wenbao's words, he immediately became unhappy and stood up to reprimand him. Guan Wenbao, how could you say that? If my big brother hadn't saved you, you would still be a lackey for a silly little girl. Not only are you not repaying my big brother, but you're also pointing fingers here. Remember your identity, you're the same as me, just a little brother. As a little brother, you will do whatever big brother says. Do you understand? Some things can be done, and some things can't be done. However, Guan Wenbao was insistent. Fart, when you were a lackey for that silly little girl, you've done even more absurd things. Why don't you say it? Guan Wenbao was speechless, but Li Fan quickly said, don't say that, Lei. If I do that, then what's the difference between me and that snake woman? Today is the first time I used this trick, it's very evil, so try not to use it in the future. Li Fan patted Guan Wenbao's shoulder, we're all brothers. Don't kneel, a man's knees are worth gold. Thank you, sir, it was Wenbao who was rude. Guan Wenbao was very ashamed. Li Fan glanced at Li Wenjue, this is a hospital, Lei, set off the fireworks, let the doctor save him, let's go. Got it, big brother. Huang Lei took out the prepared fireworks and lit them on the ground. The 3 of them quickly left the place, as if they had never been here. This was an abandoned place, and there were no cameras, which were already investigated by Lin Luo and Huang Lei. After Li Fan left the hospital, he asked Guan Wenbao to take the money back to the Miss of the Red Dragon Society. Huang Lei was still a little distressed, 1.5 million, it was gone before he could even warm his hands. However, Li Fan still owed Lu Xinan 500,000, and he was still waiting for Lu Xinan to call him. Li Fan didn't have time to think about these things. After he crippled Li Wenjue, he immediately returned home and sat in the training room. Phew. Li Fan slowly exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, feeling the changes in his body. A qualified martial fighter could look at his own meridians. Li Fan could do this now, as long as he calmed his mind and concentrated on training, he could see the appearance of his meridians. A stream of true qi came out from his dantian, and then according to the order Li Fan modified, it went through each meridian in his body. After looking inside, Li Fan found that there were 9 important acupuncture points in his meridians. At this time, 4 of these acupuncture points had been opened, and every time he opened a new internal force, one of these acupuncture points would be opened. In other words, his new 7-gallon force had a total of 9 layers. Muronging said that the 5-animal frolic's internal force had 5 layers. It seemed that after being modified by him, there were new changes. 9 layers, interesting. I have also absorbed some of Li Wenjue's true qi. Can I smoothly open the 5th acupuncture point? Li Fan first mobilized the Dantian qi in his body, refining Li Wenjue's true qi that was stored in it. This Li Wenjue's true qi was very overbearing, and it also carried a kind of evil. Once it was released, it immediately collided in Li Fan's body, as if it was very difficult to deal with. Motherfucker, you think I can't deal with you? Li Fan curled his lips. Even Murong Ying's true qi was subdued by the young master, not to mention your strange martial arts. Li Fan immediately mobilized all the true qi in his body, and began to encircle and suppress Li Wenjue's true qi. Rather than saying encircle and suppress, it was more like devouring. After all, Li Fan's true qi was the majority, so he easily gained the upper hand, and crazily devoured Li Wenjue's true qi. This bit of true qi did not last for too long, and was refined by Li Fan. The extra true qi gave Li Fan a sense of adequacy. The true qi that he had lost before was also completely replenished. Li Fan even had an urge to continue devouring other people's true qi. This feeling of reaping without sowing made him very refreshed. Do you like it? Someone seemed to be talking in his ear, causing Li Fan to frown slightly. Who is it? Thirst for power. That voice did not answer Li Fan, but continued, we are destined to be extraordinary, so why should we suppress our power? As long as you open your heart and accept me, we will be unparalleled in the world. In this world, no one is our opponent. Shut up. Li Fan berated, but the voice laughed. One day, you will need my power, he he he. Chapter 116. Shut up. Li Fan is a bit annoyed. Who is it that dares to disturb my mind? Everyone is bullying you. Have you forgotten? The voice continues to whisper in Li Fan's ear, could it be that you can endure it? I will use my strength to defeat them. Li Fan immediately says, who are you? Why are you chirping in my ear? So annoying. I am you. Could it be that you can't even recognize your own voice? The voice continues, all of these are your own voice. The heavens are unfair. All living things are like dogs. Why are you bitterly defending this useless righteousness? So it is my heart's devil. Li Fan laughs. Muronging said that when one cultivates to a certain realm, they will encounter their own heart's devil. It seems like this dragon toad's absorption of water is indeed an evil technique. With the addition of the minor phaseless divine technique's evil aura, it managed to lure you out. I am originally you. What is there to be lured out? The voice sneers, Li Fan. Could it be that you have forgotten? When you were in school, how those people oppressed you? Your teacher, your classmates, how did they bully you? And that Muronging. She is so high and mighty. Could it be that you don't want to conquer her under your crotch? Hearing this, Li Fan goes silent for a moment. Without knowing why, he is unable to refute the heart's devil's words. Release me, and you can be the only one. The voice seems to be right beside his ear, but it also seems to be far away. Release me, and you can move unhindered under the heavens. The voice is tempting Li Fan. But Li Fan tries his best to empty his mind and ignore the voice. What heart's devil, I can just ignore it. Li Fan re-enters his inner vision and starts to mobilize his qi. Under Li Fan's control, this huge qi starts to attack the 5th acupoint. As long as he breaks through this acupoint, he will be able to open the 5th realm. At that time, he would be a true expert. However, attacking the 5th acupoint was not as simple as absorbing Li Wenjue's true qi. This 5th acupoint was like a sturdy wall. No matter how hard Li Fan tried, he couldn't move it at all. As expected, it wasn't that easy to break through his inner force. However, Li Fan was not discouraged and continued to work hard to conquer this position. His true chi was like a ferocious cavalry, attacking again and again, crazily attacking the fifth meridian point. Finally, under Li Fan's prolonged attacks, a crack appeared on the sturdy city wall. Try harder. Li Fan cheered himself on. He maintained his patience and continued to conquer step by step. He didn't know how much time had passed, but he was already covered in cold sweat. While he was concentrating on overcoming the difficulties, Murongning also returned home. She was slightly surprised to see Li Fan in the practice room. This was because 4 puffs of white smoke had appeared above Li Fan's head and were slowly drifting towards his head. 4 flowers at one's prominence. Murongning was very envious. Not everyone could have this thing. It represented a person's talent. She was already talented and had a clear bone structure, but she was only at 3 flowers at one's prominence. As for Li Fan, he was actually at 4 flowers at one's prominence, which was 1 more flower than her. Although this boy looked ordinary, he had amazing talent in martial arts. The pure yang constitution was great. Why couldn't she have a male body? If she also had a pure yang constitution, she would have been a grandmaster a long time ago. However, there was a faint trace of black on Li Fan's face. Murongying's face darkened. He hadn't been practicing martial arts for long, but he had already encountered an inner demon. However, it seemed normal. After all, Li Fan's strength had improved too quickly, as if he had advanced by leaps and bounds. It was impossible for ordinary people to cultivate to the point of perfection without 8 to 10 years. However, Li Fan was an exception. In less than 2 months, he had already reached this level. As the saying went, it was difficult to cultivate for 1,000 years, but easy to become a demon overnight. Practicing martial arts originally had to be done step by step. Once one's strength increased too quickly, and one's state of mind could not keep up, then inner demons would be born. She hoped that Li Fan could resolve this inner demon and not become a demon. Murongning stood in front of the door, quietly looking at Li Fan as if she was waiting for him. At this moment, Li Fan had reached a critical juncture. Many cracks had appeared on the 5th acupoint, and he was about to conquer it. However, at this moment, a strong flow of qi flowed out from the 5th acupoint and hit Li Fan's qi. Li Fan was stunned for a moment. What was going on? There was actually a flow of true qi. Was this the 5th acupoint's final resistance? Well, young master would not be afraid of you. Li Fan took a deep breath, stabilized the true qi that was almost scattered, and then intertwined with the true qi that flowed out from the acupoint. Hard work pays off. Under Li Fan's hard work, he finally destroyed the last bit of true qi that was resisting stubbornly. The 5th acupoint also became unobstructed, and a comfortable feeling flowed into Li Fan's body. Li Fan felt as if his eyes and ears had become sharper. When he opened his eyes, he could even see the fine hair on Murongying's face. He had indeed become stronger. This kind of feeling made Li Fan feel especially comfortable. However, he also had a feeling that he could feel the true qi flowing in Murongying's body. It was so tempting, as if it was an unstoppable delicacy, enticing him. This feeling was like a vampire seeing the blood flow in a human's body. Very strange. Absorb all her true qi. That hoarse voice rang in his ear again, you can become stronger. Go, absorb all her. Absorb all your grandpa. Shut up. Li Fan scolded in his heart, and the voice slowly dissipated. The heart demon originates from your weakness. At this time, Murongning spoke, similarly, it will also dissipate in your strength. You actually saw through it. Li Fan was a little surprised. What kind of eyes does this Muronging have? Of course. Muronging was a little proud. How can such a small matter be hidden from me? You don't have to worry, the heart demon is a step that every martial artist will experience. There is a first time for everything, don't be afraid. Damn, why does this sentence sound a little wrong? Li Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry, but he was a little itchy. He hooked his finger at Muronging. Wife, tonight I am going to climb into your bed. No wonder there is a heart demon. You are really not steady at all. Muronging laughed. All right, tonight I will personally test you and see if you have the ability to climb into my bed. Good, good, good. Remember what you said. Li Fan was overjoyed. I am not the previous Li Fan. You better be careful. Chapter 117. Fighting with Muronging once again, Li Fan was full of confidence. After all, he had advanced a level and entered the next level. This unprecedented confidence made Li Fan even more excited. To be fair to you, I won't use my sword. Muronging unexpectedly showed mercy today, which made Li Fan somewhat surprised. No need, I want to fight you with all my strength. But Li Fan was arrogant. How could he be willing to let Muronging go easy on him? But Muronging smiled sweetly, stretched out 2 fingers and said, there is a sword in my heart. With that, she pointed 2 fingers at Li Fan, and a sword sheath suddenly brushed past Li Fan's cheek and hit the wall behind him. A blood stain appeared on Li Fan's cheek, and a small crack appeared on the wall behind him, leading to the outside world. What the? Has Muronging's swordsmanship already reached such a high level? No wonder she is the leader of the Wuling Alliance. With just a lift of her hand, there is sword chi. I already felt that Muronging was amazing, but only today did I realize that I still underestimated her. Li Fan, after 3 days, I have to look at you in a different light. Muronging said, although I have to look at you in a different light, these few days I have recovered very quickly. After all, I have returned to the peak. Damn! Li Fan almost collapsed. How could this woman also advance a level? Humph, so what if I am a level lower? Today I will challenge someone of a higher level. Li Fan said in an extraordinary manner, but Muronging shook her finger. No, 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 this is not a matter of a level, but a whole realm. The gap of a realm cannot be made up with brute force and skill. It can be said that a master of the peak can fight more than 10 masters of the next level without any problem. On the other hand, a super expert like Muronging, who was close to the level of a grandmaster, could fight 100 of them alone. Don't look down on me, my wife. You'll be the one to suffer when the time comes. As Li Fan spoke, he circulated the qi in his dantian, and the 7 heroes' force spread throughout his body. The 7 heroes' force made Li Fan stronger and his senses more sensitive. At the same time, Li Fan could directly feel the power of Muronging. This woman was indeed very powerful. Her entire body was covered in sword qi, but in that instant, in the blink of an eye, the sword qi was absorbed into her body. Quiet as a virgin, quick as a rabbit. It was fine if Muronging did not make a move, but once she did, the world would be turned upside down. Competing with Muronging, Li Fan had to be extremely careful. He gathered his qi and prepared to fight with Muronging. Li Fan, I've known you for so long, but this is the first time you've seen my Murong family's secret technique, Fallen Hero's Sword Technique. Muronging said, this Fallen Hero's Sword Technique is overbearing but not lacking in nimbleness. The most important thing is that it complements my martial god technique, allowing me to. Heavens! Down! None! Double! With that, Muronging stretched out her hand and released her sword qi towards Li Fan. For the first time, Li Fan saw that sword chi could also take shape. In front of him, a lotus flower formed by sword chi slowly bloomed, releasing intense sword chi, like the petals of the lotus flower, in an instant, attacking in all directions. What the fuck? Needless to say, Li Fan was shocked. So, when martial arts reached Murong Ying's level, it turned out to be like this. Incorporeal chi and sword chi could actually take form. There are 3 major obstacles in martial arts, and I've already broken through one of them. You better watch carefully. Murong Ying looked at Li Fan, who was using immortal crane flapping wings to send her sword chi flying with a smile. This is one of the 3 major obstacles, turning nothingness into reality. The chi in your body, including my sword chi, can all turn from nothingness into a tangible object. How to turn a gaseous object into a tangible object, this is what you need to learn next. With that, Murong Ying opened her right hand, and that large lotus flower seemed to have color, and suddenly dispersed. The lotus flower disappeared, and the room seemed to be covered with pink cherry blossoms, all formed by Murong Ying's sword chi. These cherry blossoms flew out in all directions, looking extremely beautiful, but hidden within them was killing intent. Li Fan kept waving his hands, using 120% of immortal crane flapping wings in an attempt to send these sword chi flying. But there were too many cherry blossom sword chi, and in the blink of an eye, a lot of them slipped through the net, passing through Li Fan's body, leaving many small wounds. Looking at the beautiful curve on Murong Ying's lips, Li Fan was very unhappy. Damn it, I can't let this woman look down on me. Bear. Mount. Army. Li Fan roared angrily, and his body suddenly expanded a bit. The shirt that he was wearing was torn again. This move was really a little troublesome. He was too wasteful. Li Fan secretly felt his heart ache. Abnormal bone changing. Murong Ying seemed a little surprised, as if she didn't expect Li Fan to be able to use such profound martial arts. There were 3 major obstacles in martial arts: turning nothingness into reality, abnormal bone changing, and heart and demon unification. She had gone through untold hardships to break through one of the major obstacles, which was turning nothingness into reality, which was why she was regarded as a peerless genius by her family. And this Li Fan actually comprehended abnormal bone changing in such a short period of time. This was a little too unfair. At this moment, Murong Ying's heart was not balanced, and she actually felt a little jealous. With a wave of her hand, a row of cherry blossom sword chi had already arrived in front of Li Fan. This time, she had lost her composure, and forgot to be merciful. And facing so many cherry blossom sword chi, Li Fan could only stretch out his hands in panic, blocking in front of his body. Fortunately, after entering the bear cavalry, Li Fan's defense had greatly increased. When the cherry blossom sword chi hit his body, it collided with Li Fan's protective chi, creating golden sparks. However, there were still some that penetrated his true chi and stabbed into his body, leaving more scars on Li Fan's body. Humph. Li Fan raised his arm, withstood the cherry blossom sword chi, and walked step by step towards Murong Ying. After entering the bear cavalry, other than the bear strike technique, Li Fan could not use any other moves. He could only endure and charge forward. Murong Ying frowned. Was Li Fan crazy? She increased the speed of the cherry blossom sword chi, trying to force Li Fan back. But not only did Li Fan not retreat, a smile slowly appeared on his face. He seemed to be very happy. He had clearly suffered so many injuries, but could he still be happy? Just as Murong Ying was hesitating, Li Fan's hand was already on her shoulder. I've caught you. Li Fan's eyes flickered with joy. Following that, he lifted with one hand, and Murong Ying's body was directly grabbed by him. Who? Li Fan threw Murong Ying's body heavily towards the ground like a sack. Chapter 118. Heart-Piercing Sword. Murong Ying pointed a finger at Li Fan and the cherry blossom sword chi shot towards the center of Li Fan's eyebrows in an attempt to stop Li Fan's attack. However, Li Fan stretched out his right hand and shattered the sword chi. Bam! Murong Ying's body heavily smashed onto the ground. She was actually at a disadvantage. Li Fan had succeeded for the first time. He was extremely happy, but without any hesitation, he had already raised his foot and attempted to step on Murong Ying. Bear trample. During the day, Li Fan had relied on this foot to step on Li Wenjue and cause him to vomit blood. However, Murong Ying was Murong Ying. The title of Martial Arts Alliance Master was not obtained for nothing. When she was only 16 years old, she had already challenged all the dojos under the heavens and won all the famous sects. Her combat experience was very rich. Although she was shocked by Li Fan's moves, she quickly reacted. Li Fan's series of smashing, stomping, and kicking were continuous techniques. Even if she suffered the first move, if she dodged the next one, Li Fan's attack would be ineffective. Murong Ying's right hand slapped the ground and her body immediately slid out lightly. She landed on a wooden stake at the side and maintained the posture of a golden rooster standing on one leg. Then, she pointed two fingers at Li Fan. Thousandly falling petals. With a delicate shout, the cherry blossom sword chi that filled the room suddenly gathered together and spun towards Li Fan. Li Fan's body was hit. Countless cherry blossom sword chi pushed his body and pushed him heavily against the wall behind him. Bam! Li Fan spat out a mouthful of blood. This time, his injuries were not light. Murong Ying was not a gentle girl. When it came to a real fight, she would not hold back. Li Fan slid down to the ground and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He used his inner force to heal himself and thought of a way to deal with the situation. Other than the toad strike technique, all his moves were basically close combat techniques. If he were to fight with Murong Ying, he would be at a disadvantage. Moreover, the toad strike technique's qigong circulation was somewhat slow, so it was not suitable to deal with Murong Ying's fast sword energy. How about it? Do you admit defeat? Murong Ying looked at Li Fan with some pride. As a beginner, you haven't mastered it yet. She had already recovered to the strength of 9 tigers and 2 dragons. She was not far from her previous strength of 4 dragons. Especially since she knew how to turn nothing into something. If she was defeated by Li Fan, it would really be a joke. I won't admit defeat. Li Fan's brain quickly turned. He glanced at his own fingers. Murong Ying could use her fingers to release sword chi, then could he also use his fingers to release true chi? With this idea in mind, Li Fan compressed his true chi and gathered it on his fingers. Imagining the principle of a pistol, Li Fan raised his right hand and extended his thumb and fingers, like a pistol. He aimed at Murong Ying. Murong Ying slightly tilted her head, not knowing what Li Fan's intention was. At this time, the true chi in Li Fan's body had been forced to the tip of his index finger. Li Fan immediately felt a swelling sensation on his index finger, giving him the urge to shoot it. Sigh, why is this idea so evil? Li Fan shook off his unnecessary thoughts, then aimed at Murong Ying. Paw! True chi exploded from Li Fan's index finger and turned into a pillar of chi, quickly shooting towards Murong Ying. Murong Ying was shocked. She did not expect Li Fan to have such a strange move. She subconsciously adjusted the cherry blossom sword chi, condensing it into a ball in front of her in an attempt to block Li Fan's attack. Bam! However, Li Fan's attack was extremely powerful, and Murong Ying's sword chi defense was actually broken. The bullet formed from true chi hit Murong Ying's shoulder, but because it had consumed too much qi, it was unable to break through Murong Ying's protective aura. Even so, the power was still astonishing. Murong Ying was forced to take a step back, and the cherry blossom sword qi that she controlled also dissipated, turning into an invisible air current that blew open the window behind her. Her beautiful eyes were filled with tears as she looked at Li Fan, momentarily speechless. In such a short period of time, this seemingly ordinary high school youth had already improved to a realm that even she was surprised by. That shot of true qi just now. It actually had such power. How is it? I already said that I will definitely surpass you. Li Fan pointed at Murong Ying. Come, let us continue to fight for 300 rounds. No need. Murong Ying put down her hands, and said with a slight smile, this time you win. Really? Li Fan does not believe his ears. Murong Ying actually admitted defeat. Yes, I originally only wanted to use the strength of a higher level to defeat you. Murong Ying openly admitted, but you forced me to use the strength of a higher level, so it can be considered as your victory. Then should we? Your head is always thinking of those messy things. Murong Ying said snappily, I just praised you, and now you are not thinking properly. If you were to use all these messy thoughts on training, you might become stronger. Little girl, training martial arts must be done step by step, steadily and surely. How can you think of advancing by leaps and bounds every day? Humph, using your lewd thoughts as an excuse. How could that be? My wife, you see, aren't the two of us very close? How could I have those lewd thoughts? Then can we cancel the agreement? Murong Ying immediately asked. Wait a minute, I'll take off my pants first. Pervert, I'll kill you. Murong Ying stretched out her hand, and petals of cherry blossom sword qi faintly formed. Hey, my wife, don't be like this. Didn't you say that you will keep your words? But you still haven't completely defeated me. Murong Ying rolled her eyes, and then slightly blushed and said, then you can kiss me. But, be gentle, don't disturb the baby. Disturb your sister's baby, you're not even pregnant. Li Fan could not help but ridicule in his heart, but this opportunity cannot be missed. First, let's have a 360-degree fancy kiss. But he must pay attention to control his pure young body, lest he absorb true qi from Murong Ying's mouth, that would not be good. Li Fan reminded himself, and then slowly walked towards Murong Ying. Murong Ying seemed to be somewhat flustered, and actually closed her eyes. My wife, are you shy? Li Fan recalled the time when the two of them first met. At that time, Murong Ying kissed him so decisively. Looking at now, is she shy? Nonsense. Murong Ying snorted from her throat, when would I be afraid? I just don't want to see your face, I hate you. Then just close your eyes. Li Fan whispered in her ear, it's enough that I like looking at you. Murong Ying seemed to tremble slightly, and began to wait for this long overdue kiss. Chapter 119. Murong Ying closed her eyes and did not dare to use her vital energy to sense the surroundings. It was as if she did not even dare to use her vital energy to touch Li Fan. But the kiss that she was waiting for did not come. Li Fan leaned on her body. This guy, he was too bold. She was the chief of the martial arts circle, how could he be so rude? But he was her fiancé, and also the father of her child. Even if he hugged her, there was nothing wrong with it, but they were not married yet. No, she had to teach him a lesson so that he would know the rules. What are you waiting for, Murong Ying, go. Murong Ying secretly urged herself, but she did not move for a long time. But what made her feel strange was that Li Fan did not move for a long time, as if he was greedy for her embrace. She felt that something was wrong, so she opened her eyes and found that Li Fan had fallen asleep. He was obviously sleeping soundly, as if no one could disturb him. This guy actually fell asleep at such a crucial time. Muronging was so angry that she could not bear it. He made her wait for a long time. But he should be too tired. After all, he fought with her and suffered some injuries. Looking at Li Fan, who was sleeping soundly, Muronging could not help but feel a little warm in her heart. This annoying guy would only be serious when he was asleep. Sigh, she did not know whether it was right or wrong for her to find such a childish fiancé. But no matter what the result was, she, Muronging, would bear it. This was her own choice, and she would walk down this path. Li Fan was indeed tired. He had experienced 2 big battles in a day and had a breakthrough in his strength. He slept from 6:00 that night to 6:00 the next morning. After a full 12 hours of sleep, the meridians in Li Fan's body had automatically operated and recovered his vital energy. "You're awake." When Li Fan opened his eyes, he saw Muronging sitting beside him. This was strange. In the past, he would see Tai Zhu when he opened his eyes, but today he saw another person. Strange. "How did you come out of my dream?" Li Fan asked subconsciously. Muronging blushed and rolled her eyes at Li Fan. "What nonsense are you talking about? I was afraid that you would be haunted by your inner demons at night, so I purposely watched over you. If you suddenly turn into a demon, I will personally kill you to prevent future trouble." "My wife. You're too vicious." Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. As the saying goes, 100 years of cultivation can be spent on the same bed, and 1,000 years of cultivation can be spent on the same pillow. We've been husband and wife for a lifetime, how can you do this? That's called crossing the same boat for 100 years. Muronging's eyes were about to roll to the sky. "You're not being serious again. Sooner or later, you'll be eaten by the heart demon. How am I improper? I want to be intimate with my wife. Isn't this the most normal reaction of a man?" Li Fan said very seriously, "Wife, if I don't have feelings for you, then there's something wrong with me." "Oh. Do I have to thank you for what you said?" "That's not necessary. We're a family, so there's no need to be so polite." Li Fan immediately said, "How can you be so polite to your own man? That's too much. Go to hell. You're already panting after just a few sentences." Muronging was busy rolling her eyes today. "When it comes to these useless things, you're especially talkative." "Wife, how can you say that?" Li Fan sighed deeply. "What I said is from the bottom of my heart. I don't want much. Actually, I just want to be able to be together with my wife peacefully and spend the rest of our lives together. That's enough. As a man, how can you be so lacking in ambition?" Muronging couldn't help but reprimand him. "As a man, I naturally know that I have to be strong." Li Fan looked out the window. "But ever since I met you, my biggest dream changed. I just want to stay by your side and spend the rest of my life with you. What martial arts alliance leader, #1 in the world, these are just fleeting clouds. As long as I have you, these are really not worth mentioning." "You? Do you really think so?" Muronging seemed to be touched. "That's right. Furthermore, there's something. AI, forget it. Let's not talk about it." "What is it? Hurry up and say it." Seeing Li Fan hesitating, Muronging subconsciously felt that something was wrong and immediately urged him. "It's really. I'm ashamed to say it, hurry up and say it. Actually, yesterday, I fought with Li Wenjue again." Li Fan's eyes were filled with sadness. "He trained in the minor formless magic art and injured me, causing a lot of damage to my internal organs. What did you say? Murong Ying's face changed. Li Fan smiled bitterly and said, "That's why I was so anxious to defeat you yesterday to fulfill my wish. Why didn't you say it earlier? No matter what, I'm also a man." Li Fan coughed twice. "I'm just regretting that I'm so young, but I can't live for long. I'm sorry to my parents. In the end, I didn't even have a son or daughter." You can't die." Murong Ying pulled Li Fan's hand. Li Fan's eyes were filled with tears. "I don't want to die. But my own body, I know, I won't let you die. I'll find someone to save you," Murong Ying said and was about to get up. However, Li Fan pulled her back. "It's too late. Distant water can't quench present thirst. I just hope that I can leave behind some incense, don't worry. I'll definitely raise our child into an adult." Murong Ying's eyes seemed to turn red. Li Fan explained. "Wife, you might have misunderstood. Kissing can't make you pregnant. Two people can only get pregnant when they sleep together. So that's how it is." Murong Ying nodded her head. "You're reaching the end of your lifespan. As your wife, I should leave behind some incense for you." Li Fan was overjoyed. There's a way. Wife is really considerate. To have a wife like you, I have no regrets in this life. What more can I ask for?" "Don't say that. I'll definitely find a way to save you." Although the lesser formless god technique is overbearing, Murong Ying's martial god technique is not to be trifled with. Murong Ying frowned. Her voice had also gone up by an octave. "I might not be able to wait for much longer." Li Fan coughed again. "Wife, help your husband undress." "You must be gentle," Murong Ying immediately said. I will. Also, I want to be on top." Although she did not understand, Murong Ying had heard some of the servants talking about it. "Fine. Since I can't do it anymore, I'll do as you say." Li Fan kept nodding his head but did not dare to show any impatient look. He was afraid that Murong Ying would see through him. "Just a little bit more. You must not fail. Li Fan, you can do it. You're a qualified actor. Besides, this cannot be called cheating. Aren't the two of them husband and wife? This kind of thing, sooner or later, they will have to do it. I'm just trying to take my relationship with Murong Ying a step further. I'm putting in a lot of effort." Just as Murong Ying was about to change her clothes, Li Fan's phone suddenly rang. The phone on the table showed a caller ID. Huang Lei. Chapter 120. Well, don't worry about him. Li Fan wondered why Huang Lei would call him at this time. It was about to happen, okay? Pick it up, let me hear it. Murong Ying said, "He is your brother. Before you die, he must want to say something to you." "No need, how can a brother be more important than a woman? I don't like to hear this. This is not something a man of the pugilistic world should say." As Murong Ying said this, she had already reached for the phone, picked it up, and put it on speaker. "Big brother, today we defeated that Li Wenjue, shouldn't we celebrate?" Huang Lei's frivolous voice immediately came through the phone. "Big brother, I still have some money. I'll treat you tonight, let's go to the red light district and visit a prostitute." The corner of Murong Ying's mouth had already hung a smile, and Li Fan began to feel a chill down his spine. "Big brother, why aren't you saying anything?" "If you don't say anything, I'll take it as a silent agreement." Huang Lei's chatterbox continued to nag. "Big brother, don't you always complain to me that the tigress at home is too annoying? Brainless, retarded, and overbearing. This time, I'll find you a good one, I guarantee that you'll have a good time to vent. Bam! Li Fan's phone had already been smashed into several pieces by the cherry blossom sword Chi, and Li Fan said angrily, "Yes, wife, good hit. This idiot, I've wanted to scold him for a long time. Every day he wants to take me to a prostitute, am I that kind of person? I, Li Fan, am a good youth of the new society, a righteous person, how can I tolerate this kind of filthy thing?" "Really?" Muronging said lightly, "Just now, I heard someone say that I'm brainless, retarded, and very overbearing." "Nonsense, overbearing. Wife, don't listen to this lowly person's nonsense." Li Fan hurriedly explained, "I'm sincere to you, heaven and earth can bear witness." "Really?" Murong Ying's voice already carried a trace of murderous intent. Li Fan patted his chest, "Of course, my wife has always been like a fairy in my heart. I don't know where that Huang Lei heard those rumors from. I'll tie him up later and let my wife beat him to vent your anger." "Even so, what about your illness?" Muronging reached out her hand and forcibly placed it on Li Fan's wrist. "Your true qi is stable, without any signs of disorder." Li Fan, Li Fan, I really underestimated you. Your acting skills can win an Oscar. Am I alright? Li Fan was pleasantly surprised. Am I really fine? God, I thought I was going to die for sure. Continue acting. Muronging crossed her arms and looked at Li Fan with a faint smile, "I'll see how long you can act." "Wife, stop messing around. It's getting late. I should go to class. The National Day holiday is over. Li Fan's good days are also coming to an end." Muronging curled her lips. Who is the one messing around? This guy is too good at reversing right and wrong. Li Fan, do you think you can go to school in a healthy state? Muronging raised her eyebrows. Li Fan's heart swayed. Then, wife, you have to support your husband's studies. Li Fan pulled Murongying's sleeve and said, "Your husband is an ambitious and dedicated person. I know my wife can't bear to leave me, but I still have to fight for our future. Humph. When you come back, I'll deal with you." Muronging turned around and left Li Fan's room. Li Fan finally let out a sigh of relief. Damn, that was really dangerous. Li Fan couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. He thought to himself, I've finally gotten through this crisis. Damn, I still need to change my phone. But now I'm penniless. A penniless man is no match for a hero. Muronging stepped out of the room and called out to the people outside, "Master, you must be very careful. Taizhu, go home and get my Luoying sword from home. Fuck. This woman wants to take my life tonight." Li Fan sighed. He thought to himself, what should I do with my life? At this time, Taizhu pushed open the door and walked in. He neatly placed the clean school uniform in front of Li Fan. "Son-in-law, your school uniform and your new phone." Li Fan took a look. It turned out to be an iPhone 6. "It's like you're supporting me. That's too high profile." Li Fan was a little uncomfortable. "Taizhu, what phone are you using? Let's exchange." Looking at Taizhu taking out of her too, Li Fan silently put away the iPhone 6. After all, it's the information age. Without a phone, humans are like losing their souls. He put on his card, put on his school uniform, and left. His first stop was to pick up Lin Yuhsin. He didn't know what was wrong with this girl. She insisted that he continue pretending to be her boyfriend. Originally, Li Fan was very against this kind of thing. But when he thought of Lin Yuhsin's goal of becoming a psychiatrist, Li Fan couldn't help but soften his heart. This girl didn't have it easy. When it's time to help her, I'll help her. Sigh, I'm really too kind. It's really touching. When Li Fan was secretly happy, Lin Yuhsin finally came out of the tube-shaped apartment. Very punctual. Bonus points for you. Lin Yuhsin suddenly had a small notebook in her hand. She wrote something on it. What's this? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. The score table. Lin Yuhsin said very seriously, now you're my boyfriend. Because you're still in the probation period, of course I have to give you points. If you have enough points in the probation period and pass, then you can officially become my boyfriend. If you don't have enough points, then you'll be eliminated. Wait a minute. Li Fan caught the main point. What does probation period boyfriend mean? When did I say that? You might have forgotten, but we are indeed in the probation period. Lin Yuhsin coughed dryly. Her eyes looked a little unnatural. In short, this is a set of procedures to treat your mental illness. Don't you want to cooperate with me? You have to abide by my rules. It feels weird. Li Fan lowered his head as if he was thinking about something. Li Fan, your illness hasn't been completely cured. Lin Yuhsin immediately said, you're so young, yet you're already a child husband. Isn't that sick? Li Fan was a little speechless. Lin Yuhsin struck while the iron was hot and continued, moreover, I'm such a beautiful girl, yet you're still picky. I just feel that it's a little sudden. My treatment focuses on the process. Lin Yuhsin said seriously, you haven't experienced the taste of real love yet. That's why your mind is twisted and you're willing to be a child husband. This won't do. As a doctor, I have the responsibility to save you from the fire and water. Alright then. Li Fan had a feeling of being tricked, then what's with this score? Chapter 121. Test Score. Lin Yuhsin proudly shook the little notebook in her hand. It's a very effective treatment method that I thought of. Why do I feel a little confused? What's there to be confused about? It's very simple. Didn't I just say that you have to get a certain score to become my official boyfriend? Then, can I do it when I become your official boyfriend? Li Fan subconsciously asked this question and then coughed twice. Damn it, why did I say it out loud all of a sudden? Lin Yuhsin's face instantly turned red. She reached out her hand as if she wanted to pinch Li Fan. But her hand reached out and then retracted back. If it's an official boyfriend and girlfriend. After spending some time together, this kind of thing is not impossible. Really, really? Li Fan's eyes lit up. There's a chance. After all, I'm not that old-fashioned. Nowadays, relationships between men and women are not so rigid. As long as you're willing to marry me, some things can be done in advance. Lin Yuhsin nodded, I mean what I said. I won't say anything that doesn't mean what I said. However, I see that you don't seem to be very willing to accompany me to see a doctor. I think it's better not to force you. After all, a forced melon won't be sweet. Dr. Lin, how can you say that? Li Fan immediately said seriously, you're someone who wants to become a psychologist. How can this kind of small hardship stump you? I'm testing you and training you to see if you can break through all the obstacles and knock down the evil demon of illness. That means, you're willing. I'm willing, of course I'm willing. Li Fan nodded repeatedly, to be able to help Dr. Lin grow is my duty and honor. I have to thank you. Don't be so polite. You're treating me like an outsider. Li Fan puffed out his chest, as an advanced student in the school, it's our duty to help the underachievers. Screw you, you're the underachiever. Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes. You're lying with a straight face. I really admire you. That's because Dr. Lin taught him well. What training? That's called treatment. Yes, cure him. Li Fan nodded heavily. That's exactly what I meant. How many points do I need to pass? If you want to enter the official phase from the internship phase, you have to reach 100 points. Lin Yuhsin pointed at the notebook. If I get 0 points, we can only say goodbye. Don't. How many points do I have now? Your basic score is 10. Lin Yuhsin said one by one, you're very punctual today. Not bad, 2 more points. However, your hair is still so messy and not tidied up. 2 points will be deducted from your image. So you're still 10 points. Only 10 points. Li Fan was a bit disappointed. Can't you give me more? That will depend on your own performance. Lin Yuhsin giggled. If you perform well, you'll get 100 points sooner or later. Do your best, young man. I'm optimistic about you. Thank you. Li Fan was under a lot of pressure. He felt as if he had fallen into Lin Yuhsin's trap. Along the way, the young lady was very happy. She kept telling Li Fan about what happened during the holidays. I'm just a middle school tuition student. He actually wants me to be his girlfriend. Hee, this Shota is quite cute. You don't even let off a middle school student. Li Fan pedaled his bicycle. His face sunk. An old cow eating young grass, animal. Go to hell. You're the animal. Lin Yuhsin pinched Li Fan. I just think this kid is cute. Stop it. How can a middle school student be cute? What era do you think we're in? Li Fan reminded Lin Yuhsin. Give him a chance and he'll sleep with you. Go. Your thinking is so evil. Lin Yuhsin said angrily. Based on your thinking, this world is so scary. Anyway, you should be more careful. Don't drink the water that he gave you. Li Fan reminded her again. Don't worry. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm still vigilant. Lin Yuhsin hugged Li Fan's waist. She giggled. Are you jealous? Of course I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. Li Fan didn't deny it. Right now, we're interning boyfriend and girlfriend. This is called striking the bell as long as you're a monk. Strike your sister. You're the monk. What kind of metaphor is that? How did you learn your language? Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes. I'll definitely learn Chinese from Teacher Lin. Li Fan said immediately. That's more like it. Lin Yuhsin hesitated for a moment before asking softly. Li Fan. Let me ask you a question. You must answer me seriously. You're asking the wrong person. I've always been a very serious person. I don't like to joke around. Cut it out, Lin Yuhsin spat and asked, let me ask you. Do you like me? Huh? Li Fan was stunned. Why would Lin Yuhsin suddenly ask such a question? This wasn't like her. Don't misunderstand. This is a discussion about your illness. Lin Yuhsin immediately emphasized, I need to know your current psychological condition. All right. Li Fan thought for a moment. I don't think I like you. But I have a good impression of you. Humph. Lin Yuhsin snorted heavily. She was the campus belle. The number of boys chasing after her could line up from the second high school to the neighboring county. But this Li Fan actually said that he only had a good impression of her. Although Li Fan had such a beautiful fiancée. But there was a big gap between the two of them. There would definitely be few common topics. Sooner or later, Li Fan would fall in love with her. Lin Yuhsin secretly vowed in her heart. When Li Fan arrived at school, the class was still the same as usual. Some were busy copying homework and some were busy catching up on sleep. He saw Deng Siwei at a glance. This guy was talking loudly at first. But when he saw Li Fan coming in, he immediately quieted down and lowered his head to do the paper. Isn't this Deng Siwei classmate Deng? Li Fan looked at him with a smile and said, I remember you said you wanted to eat shit. How about it? Do you want to eat it hot or cold? We're all classmates. As long as you say something, I'll get it for you. I'm a selfless Lei Feng. I love to help others. Deng Siwei gritted her teeth. This damn Li Fan. Who would have thought that he actually passed all 5 exams? What's the matter, classmate Deng? Are you still a man? Li Fan looked at Deng Siwei and asked, what's the matter? Are you going to break your promise? Chapter 122. What breach of contract? Deng Siwei starts to act shamelessly, with your results. If you have the ability, then do better than me. If you can't beat me, what ability do you have? Deng Siwei, as a man, your words are like nails on the board. Li Fan sneers, although your results are not bad, you can't even be considered as a man. With your conduct, no wonder Lin Yuhsin doesn't like you. Nonsense. If she doesn't like me, do you think she will like you? Deng Siwei becomes angry. I am Deng Siwei, the second-ranked man in the school. You just passed the passing mark. What qualifications do you have to compete with me? I am the teacher's darling. In the future, I will be able to enter a famous university. When I become successful and become a white-collared worker, you can only muddle through your days, eating and waiting to die. Do you think someone who doesn't study well is worthy to bet with me? Deng Siwei, how can you speak like that? How did we offend you because we don't study well? You are too arrogant. Some of the students who didn't study well are immediately unhappy. This Deng Siwei is too arrogant. She is shooting all over the place and bombarding a group of people. What are you shouting for? What qualifications do you have to shout at me? Deng Siwei roars, be careful that I tell the teacher that you all ganged up to bully me. Let's see if you all have a good ending. You bunch of scum. You are not worthy to be in the same classroom as me. Bang! Li Fan's fist has already landed heavily on the desk in front of Deng Siwei. This desk immediately breaks into pieces, scaring Deng Siwei so much that she almost peed in her pants. Your fart is too smelly. I can't help but want to beat you up. Li Fan has scared Deng Siwei badly. Deng Siwei, your results are good, but it doesn't mean that you are better than others. Li Fan needs his fist as he coldly looks at Deng Siwei. Even if our starting points are different, we are all equal. As for what the future will be like, it is not up to you, and it is also not up to me. If there really is a day in the future, Li Fan will not eat a single mouthful of rice from you. He pointed at Deng Siwei. If I hear another word of contempt coming out of your mouth, I'll crush your rotten teeth. You dare to threaten me. Deng Siwei took a few deep breaths. Li Fan laughed. Yes, I threatened you. How about it? Go and tell your teacher, you idiot. However, we can't guarantee that you'll still have your limbs intact after telling the teacher. Bai Lin Luo sat in his seat, calmly pushed up his glasses, and muttered. Li Fan, you can beat him up right now. We can't see it anyway. So what if he's good at studying? Maybe he copied it. That's right, plagiarist dog. The surrounding students had long been angered by Deng Siwei's words and were shouting one after another. All of you are talking nonsense. I never plagiarize. Deng Siwei was about to cry.
I relied on my own results. Saying that I plagiarized. Which eye of yours saw that? All of you are framing me. It's jealousy. Deng Siwei, you don't have the right to say such words. When Li Fan heard Deng Siwei said so, he immediately curled his lips. How did you start a rumor about me in the past? Just because I scored better than you in history, it's considered plagiarism. Who gave you the right to start a rumor? Which eye of yours saw that? Deng Siwei was speechless. Li Fan crossed his arms and looked at her coldly. Deng Siwei, God is watching. No matter how good your results are, you're just a scum. Li Fan. If you have the guts, we'll see in 10 years. Deng Siwei said fiercely. 10 years later, I want you to hug my thighs and lick me. There's no need for 10 years. 5 years is enough. Li Fan stretched out his hand. I'm an easygoing person. If you want to gamble, I'll play with you till the end. The teacher is here. A student at the door reminded him. Li Fan looked at Deng Siwei a few more times before returning to his seat. Chang Chuanxi walked in and saw the broken desk in front of Deng Siwei. He asked in surprise, Deng Siwei, what happened to the desk? The corner of Deng Siwei's mouth twitched slightly. She then gritted her teeth and said, Teacher Chang. The desk is not very sturdy. Go back to the logistics department and get another one. Make do with your deskmate first. Chang Chuanxi was undoubtedly very tolerant of Deng Siwei. He picked up his book and began to teach without even looking at Li Fan. It seemed that the school had begun to adopt a Cold War attitude towards Li Fan. At present, they did not care about him. However, Li Fan knew that things were definitely not that simple. The principal had a blood feud with him. He would never tolerate the fact that his son was beaten up. There's a new English teacher today. Everyone, let's welcome her. After a language class, someone knocked on the classroom door. Chang Chuanxi went out to take a look. He then turned back and said to the students. Your previous teacher is pregnant. She can't teach you for the time being. The students started to discuss. Who was the new teacher? Would she be too strict? Sigh, it would be good if it was a beauty. Wang Chang chuckled. His voice was quite loud. Chang Chuanxi heard it, but he did not say anything. After all, Wang Chang's background was also very strong. Chang Chuanxi did not want to provoke such a student. Just as everyone was discussing, a young beauty wearing black-rimmed glasses walked into the classroom. This beauty had ear-length short hair. She was wearing a white shirt and a black lily skirt. Although it looked simple, it had a scholarly elegance. As she walked in, the boys all swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Beauty, this was a great beauty. Even Li Fan was a little surprised. What was going on recently? Why were there so many beauties running to the school recently?
He muttered in his heart, Muronging came for me. Could it be that this beautiful teacher also came for me? Hee, I really like to daydream. This will be your teacher from now on. Teacher Liao, please introduce yourself. Even Chang Chuanxi's eyes were filled with greed when he looked at this beautiful teacher Liao. After all, she was a beauty. Everyone would think about her. But for a beauty like Muronging, Chang Chuanxi could only have some thoughts in his heart. He did not even dare to look at her. If one glance made her unhappy and he lost his job, wouldn't that be bad luck? And this teacher Liao was just an ordinary teacher. He was a director. Perhaps he could win her favor. Hello everyone. I am your new teacher. This teacher Liao seemed to be very shy. She lowered her head and introduced herself. I am Liao Wushuang. Wushuang. Such a domineering name. It doesn't resemble the teacher's temperament at all. Teacher, do you have a boyfriend? The student started to jeer, causing Liao Wushuang's face to turn red. Chang Chuanxi coughed twice and scolded, "Be quiet for a moment. What are you making noise for? Teacher Liao, ignore them. They are all a bunch of stinking brats. By the way, I have not introduced myself. My name is Chang Chuanxi, unmarried." Chapter 123. This Chang Chuanxi is the one who has no moral integrity. Li Fan couldn't help but curl his lips. What kind of person is this? This is too fucked up. With this, he still has the nerve to call himself a teacher. This is an English class. Chang Chuanxi said a lot of words before leaving. With a beautiful teacher teaching, the students listened attentively. Li Fan didn't expect that these students could be so interested in learning. Even a few students who usually sleep in class are now staring at the teacher with full attention. The power of a beauty is extraordinary. If every woman in this world is a beauty, perhaps the world will be more harmonious. The human gene is still not perfect. I hope that one day, everyone is handsome and beautiful. How harmonious that would be. Li Fan didn't pay attention to the class. His mind is in a mess. At this time, the new teacher noticed him and suddenly asked, "Student, what's your name?" Li Fan has already thought about what to eat tonight. When Liao Wushuang called him, he didn't answer. Everyone's eyes are focused on Li Fan. The boys are a bit jealous. The new teacher actually paid attention to Li Fan. This is too unfair. Student. The bespectacled boy quickly nudged Li Fan with his elbow. Only then did Li Fan wake up. "Teacher, you called me." Li Fan said, "Is this new teacher going to ask me a question?" "What did she just say?" Student. Why are you squatting over there? Why aren't you sitting down?" Liao Wushuang seems to be in natural daze. She innocently asked, "Student, do you have hemorrhoids or something?" A black line appeared on Li Fan's head. The nearby students are muttering. Damn, how did the teacher know? Teacher Liao is a fortune teller. Does the world know that Li Fan has hemorrhoids? Fuck. Who has hemorrhoids? When Li Fan wanted to explain, the class just ended. For the first time, Li Fan felt that the bell is so ear-piercing. Teacher Liao has already walked out of the classroom with her books and glasses. Fuck, no, I have to go up and explain. Li Fan hated being misunderstood the most. He immediately chased after her, wanting to explain to Liao Wushuang. Unexpectedly, when he went out, he found out that Wang Chang is already there. At this time, Wang Chang is standing in the corridor, blocking Liao Wushuang's way. Teacher Liao, can we talk? Student, is there something you don't understand? Liao Wushuang thought that Wang Chang had encountered difficulties in learning English, so she kindly asked. Yes, I have a very difficult problem that I can't figure out. Teacher Liao, please teach me well. Of course. If there's anything you don't know, just ask me. Teacher of Wang, there are too many people here and it is inconvenient to study. Teacher, there are too many people here. It's not convenient to study. Why don't we find a quiet place? Is the office okay? There are other teachers in the office. It is inconvenient. Wang Chang smiled, stretched out his hand and grabbed Liao Wushuang's wrist. I booked a suite in a 5-star hotel. It is very secluded and the environment is good. It will guarantee a better learning efficiency. This, student. This is not possible. Liao Wushuang tried to get rid of Wang Chang's entanglement, but Wang Chang brought two strong brothers and surrounded Liao Wushuang. She can't leave for a while. Teacher Liao, you just came to this school. You might not know the rules of this school. Wang Chang smiled. Teacher Liao, us teachers and students can study it in depth. At this moment, Li Fan walked over from behind and kicked Wang Chang's butt, causing Wang Chang to lie on the wall. Fuck, why are you always blocking the way? Li Fan put one hand in his pocket and the other hand dug his ear. He looked at Wang Chang and scolded, did you change your name to Toyota Prado? Yes, it's my fault. Wang Chang wanted to get angry, but seeing that it was Li Fan, he obediently held back his temper and obediently moved to the side. The two followers also quickly moved away. No one dared to provoke Li Fan, this god of plague. There were so many people in the school, but none of them could beat Li Fan. Who do they think they are? Liao Wushuang took the opportunity to leave. Her footsteps were somewhat hurried as if she was afraid. Be good. Remember not to block the way next time. Li Fan patted Wang Chang's shoulder. Wang Chang still had to smile apologetically. Brotherly, how about I treat you to a French feast tonight? Not interested. Li Fan rolled his eyes. You're a Chinese man, why do you eat a French feast every day? If you have nothing to do, just eat mala tang. With that, Li Fan no longer paid attention to this pervert and turned around to leave. This student. Just as Li Fan turned a corner, Liao Wushuang chased after him and called out to Li Fan. Teacher Liao, what's the matter? Li Fan is somewhat baffled. Why is this beautiful new teacher looking for me? Thank you for helping me out. Liao Wushuang is indeed somewhat shy. When she speaks to Li Fan, her voice is very weak. You're welcome. Just be careful in the future. Li Fan did not take it seriously. Helping Liao Wushuang is just something he did out of convenience. He suddenly thought of something and slapped himself on the forehead. Oh yeah, Teacher Liao, I forgot to tell you. I don't have hemorrhoids. Aw. Hearing Li Fan said that, Liao Wushuang comforted him, it's okay. A lot of guys are embarrassed to admit it. After all, I'm older than you and have seen a lot. You don't have to be ashamed in front of a teacher. Seen your sister. Have you seen hemorrhoids on a man's butt? Besides, I don't have hemorrhoids. Teacher, I really don't have hemorrhoids. Li Fan wanted to explain, but Liao Wushuang stretched out a finger and pressed it on Li Fan's mouth. You don't need to say anything. Teacher understands. Teacher will not dislike you. You will always be teacher's obedient student. Obedient your head. What kind of teacher is this? Can't you let me finish my words? Student, your name is Li Fan, right? Liao Wushuang glanced at the attendance list. I see that your English is okay. If you need to improve it, you can contact me. I opened a remedial class. You should come and tutor me. I guarantee that after a month, your English will be able to improve to 130 points. That good? Li Fan was a bit surprised. This woman is too confident. Even Lin Yuhsian would not dare to say this. Of course. After all, English is my strength. At this time, Liao Wushuang's face finally showed some confidence. Today you helped me. I can give you a 50% discount for my remedial class. Li Fan wanted to cry but no tears came out. He is now extremely poor. Where would he find the money for remedial class? Let's talk about it another day, Teacher Liao. I'm leaving first, bye-bye. But Li Fan did not know that Wang Chang is hiding in the corner, secretly watching them. His eyes were red with hatred. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.